In midfield, Verratti, Jorginho and Barella. Insigne and Chiesa behind Immobile. In goal for England, it's Jordan Pickford. Then a back three, Maguire, Stones and Walker. Two wing-backs, Shaw and Trippier. Two holders in Rice and Phillips. And then up top, Sterling and Mount behind Harry Kane. Well, we're closing in on the final of Euro 2020, and at Wembley Stadium, it's all come down to this. Two teams who are desperate to win for Italy. They make no changes from the team who couldn't be separated with Spain after 120 minutes of football. Of course, they came through on penalties 4-2. So Roberto Mancini is sticking with his starting 11. And for Gareth Southgate's three lines, they make just a one change from the team who dispensed of Denmark in extra time at 2-1 last time out. Bukayo Saka takes his place on the bench and is replaced by Kieran Trippier as England go to a back three. So Italy are Gianluigi Donnarumma in goals. Then across the back, it's Emerson, Chiellini, Bonucci and Di Lorenzo. In midfield, Verratti, Jorginho and Barella. Insigne and Chiesa behind Immobile. In goal for England, it's Jordan Pickford. Then a back three, Maguire, Stones and Walker. Two wing-backs, Shaw and Trippier. Two holders in Rice and Phillips. And then up top, Sterling and Mount behind Harry Kane. Well, we're closing in on the final of Euro 2020, and at Wembley Stadium, it's all come down to this. Two teams who are desperate to win for Italy. They make no changes from the team who couldn't be separated with Spain after 120 minutes of football. Of course, they came through on penalties 4-2. So Roberto Mancini is sticking with his starting 11. And for Gareth Southgate's three lines, they make just a one change from the team who dispensed of Denmark in extra time at 2-1 last time out. Bukayo Saka takes his place on the bench and is replaced by Kieran Trippier as England go to a back three. So Italy are Gianluigi Donnarumma in goals. Then across the back, it's Emerson, Chiellini, Bonucci and Di Lorenzo. In midfield, Verratti, Jorginho and Barella. Insigne and Chiesa behind Immobile. In goal for England, it's Jordan Pickford. Then a back three, Maguire, Stones and Walker. Two wing-backs, Shaw and Trippier. Two holders in Rice and Phillips. And then up top, Sterling and Mount behind Harry Kane. Well, we're closing in on the final of Euro 2020, and at Wembley Stadium, it's all come down to this. Two teams who are desperate to win for Italy. They make no changes from the team who couldn't be separated with Spain after 120 minutes of football. Of course, they came through on penalties 4-2. So Roberto Mancini is sticking with his starting 11. And for Gareth Southgate's three lines, they make just a one change from the team who dispensed of Denmark in extra time at 2-1 last time out. Bukayo Saka takes his place on the bench and is replaced by Kieran Trippier as England go to a back three. So Italy are Gianluigi Donnarumma in goals. Then across the back, it's Emerson, Chiellini, Bonucci and Di Lorenzo. In midfield, Verratti, Jorginho and Barella. Insigne and Chiesa behind Immobile. In goal for England, it's Jordan Pickford. Then a back three, Maguire, Stones and Walker. Two wing-backs, Shaw and Trippier. Two holders in Rice and Phillips. And then up top, Sterling and Mount behind Harry Kane. Well, we're closing in on the final of Euro 2020, and at Wembley Stadium, it's all come down to this. Two teams who are desperate to win for Italy. They make no changes from the team who couldn't be separated with Spain after 120 minutes of football. Of course, they came through on penalties 4-2. So Roberto Mancini is sticking with his starting 11. And for Gareth Southgate's three lines, they make just a one change from the team who dispensed of Denmark in extra time at 2-1 last time out. Bukayo Saka takes his place on the bench and is replaced by Kieran Trippier as England go to a back three. So Italy are Gianluigi Donnarumma in goals. Then across the back, it's Emerson, Chiellini, Bonucci and Di Lorenzo. In midfield, Verratti, Jorginho and Barella. Insigne and Chiesa behind Immobile. In goal for England, it's Jordan Pickford. Then a back three, Maguire, Stones and Walker. Two wing-backs, Shaw and Trippier. Two holders in Rice and Phillips. And then up top, Sterling and Mount behind Harry Kane. Well, we're closing in on the final of Euro 2020, and at Wembley Stadium, it's all come down to this. Two teams who are desperate to win for Italy. They make no changes from the team who couldn't be separated with Spain after 120 minutes of football. Of course, they came through on penalties 4-2. So Roberto Mancini is sticking with his starting 11. And for Gareth Southgate's three lines, they make just a one change from the team who dispensed of Denmark in extra time at 2-1 last time out. Bukayo Saka takes his place on the bench and is replaced by Kieran Trippier as England go to a back three. So Italy are Gianluigi Donnarumma in goals. Then across the back, it's Emerson, Chiellini, Bonucci and Di Lorenzo. In midfield, Verratti, Jorginho and Barella. Insigne and Chiesa behind Immobile. In goal for England, it's Jordan Pickford. Then a back three, Maguire, Stones and Walker. Two wing-backs, Shaw and Trippier. Two holders in Rice and Phillips. And then up top, Sterling and Mount behind Harry Kane. Well, we're closing in on the final of Euro 2020, and at Wembley Stadium, it's all come down to this. Two teams who are desperate to win. For Italy, they make no changes from the team who couldn't be separated with Spain after 120 minutes of football. Of course, they came through on penalties 4-2. So Roberto Mancini is sticking with his starting 11. And for Gareth Southgate's three lines, they make just a one change from the team who dispensed of Denmark in extra time at 2-1 last time out. Bukayo Saka takes his place on the bench and is replaced by Kieran Trippier as England go to a back three. So Italy are Gianluigi Donnarumma in goals. Then across the back, it's Emerson, Chiellini, Bonucci and Di Lorenzo. In midfield, Verratti, Jorginho and Barella. Insigne and Chiesa behind Immobile. In goal for England, it's Jordan Pickford. Then a back three, Maguire, Stones and Walker. Two wing-backs, Shaw and Trippier. Two holders in Rice and Phillips. And then up top, Sterling and Mount behind Harry Kane. Well, we're closing in on the final of Euro 2020, and at Wembley Stadium, it's all come down to this. Two teams who are desperate to win. For Italy, they make no changes from the team who couldn't be separated with Spain after 120 minutes of football. Of course, they came through on penalties 4-2. So Roberto Mancini is sticking with his starting 11. And for Gareth Southgate's three lines, they make just a one change from the team who dispensed of Denmark in extra time at 2-1 last time out. Bukayo Saka takes his place on the bench and is replaced by Kieran Trippier as England go to a back three. So Italy are Gianluigi Donnarumma in goals. Then across the back, it's Emerson, Chiellini, Bonucci and Di Lorenzo. In midfield, Verratti, Jorginho and Barella. Insigne and Chiesa behind Immobile. In goal for England, it's Jordan Pickford. Then a back three, Maguire, Stones and Walker. Two wing-backs, Shaw and Trippier. Two holders in Rice and Phillips. And then up top, Sterling and Mount behind Harry Kane. Well, we're closing in on the final of Euro 2020, and at Wembley Stadium, it's all come down to this. Two teams who are desperate to win. For Italy, they make no changes from the team who couldn't be separated with Spain after 120 minutes of football. Of course, they came through on penalties 4-2. So Roberto Mancini is sticking with his starting 11. And for Gareth Southgate's three lines, they make just a one change from the team who dispensed of Denmark in extra time at 2-1 last time out. Bukayo Saka takes his place on the bench and is replaced by Kieran Trippier as England go to a back three. So Italy are Gianluigi Donnarumma in goals. Then across the back, it's Emerson, Chiellini, Bonucci and Di Lorenzo. In midfield, Verratti, Jorginho and Barella. Insigne and Chiesa behind Immobile. In goal for England, it's Jordan Pickford. Then a back three, Maguire, Stones and Walker. Two wing-backs, Shaw and Trippier. Two holders in Rice and Phillips. And then up top, Sterling and Mount behind Harry Kane. Well, we're closing in on the final of Euro 2020, and at Wembley Stadium, it's all come down to this. Two teams who are desperate to win. For Italy, they make no changes from the team who couldn't be separated with Spain after 120 minutes of football. Of course, they came through on penalties 4-2. So Roberto Mancini is sticking with his starting 11. And for Gareth Southgate's three lines, they make just a one change from the team who dispensed of Denmark in extra time at 2-1 last time out. Bukayo Saka takes his place on the bench and is replaced by Kieran Trippier as England go to a back three. So Italy are Gianluigi Donnarumma in goals. Then across the back, it's Emerson, Chiellini, Bonucci and Di Lorenzo. In midfield, Verratti, Jorginho and Barella. Insigne and Chiesa behind Immobile. In goal for England, it's Jordan Pickford. Then a back three, Maguire, Stones and Walker. Two wing-backs, Shaw and Trippier. Two holders in Rice and Phillips. And then up top, Sterling and Mount behind Harry Kane. Well, we're closing in on the final of Euro 2020, and at Wembley Stadium it's all come down to this. Two teams who are desperate to win. For Italy, they make no changes from the team who couldn't be separated with Spain after 120 minutes of football. Of course, they came through on penalties 4-2. So Roberto Mancini is sticking with his starting 11. And for Gareth Southgate's three lines, they make just a one change from the team who dispensed of Denmark in extra time at 2-1 last time out. Bukayo Saka takes his place on the bench and is replaced by Kieran Trippier as England go to a back three. So Italy are Gianluigi Donnarumma in goals. Then across the back, it's Emerson, Chiellini, Bonucci and Di Lorenzo. In midfield, Verratti, Jorginho and Barella. Insigne and Chiesa behind Immobile. In goal for England, it's Jordan Pickford. Then a back three, Maguire, Stones and Walker. Two wing-backs, Shaw and Trippier. Two holders in Rice and Phillips. And then up top, Sterling and Mount behind Harry Kane.
I tell you what, let's stop all this messing about and get some football played. I cannot stand it any longer, and thank goodness that 8 o'clock's rolled around. I wouldn't have minded a 5 o'clock kick-off today, Rob, because I just feel like I've been hanging around. I know too much about this game. Bjorn Kuipers, our referee, apparently is rich as Croesus. I know too much. What do you think?
Yeah, it's tense and nervous, isn't it? Let's be honest. England never been here, certainly not in my lifetime. Italy have been there. They haven't always been successful. They've got plenty of experience at the big occasion, but they're coming into this on the back of obviously missing out on the World Cup. So I think there's a bit of pressure on both sides. I'm not convinced that Gareth Southgate's picked the right starting 11, so we'll see how that pans out. I think we're playing in fear of Italy rather than trying to put the fear into Italy, and I'm not sure that's necessarily going to work, because we know Italy have shown that they know how to defend. They've gone 33 matches unbeaten. They haven't conceded a lot of goals, and I think it's conceding the early onus, the early ascendance. I think it's just conceding something to Italy as the game kicks off.
Yeah, it may and it may not. We sort of disagree. I think it might be inspired going to backfire. Then again, you might be inviting him on. We'll find out, won't we? Is Donnarumma. First thing he's got to do is a clearance. A good header one there by Stones. One thing about Italy is that they control play pretty well, keep the ball pretty well. They've got their two wingers to feed Immobile. You know, they're very mobile. They work hard for each other. They're a good team. We were talking about this before kick-off, that there are two good teams out there, but there's no outstanding team really in the tournament. So your guess is as good as mine about who's going to win it. I would edge with the bookmakers, who probably think that home advantage for England is just about it, and I think England have a stronger bench, but that's not saying too much, as Maguire has made a mistake early doors and has given a quick corner kick away.
Yeah, I mean, that's just terrible. It's just terrible all round. Luke Shaw didn't really want it. Harry Maguire didn't want it back. Jordan Pickford didn't show for him. And then it was a really poor pass. So out of nothing, Italy have got a corner. It doesn't mean that England are going to concede, but I think it just says something about the mindset early doors from England. A little bit trepidation out there.
Yeah, there is bound to be nerves, and well, anyway, the corner kick comes in. That's cleared by Maguire, who made up for his own iniquities there. Ball nodded back by the man of the tournament, Raheem Sterling, and Mount does pretty well. Shaw struggles to control it, then does control it. Kane comes short, he picks it up. There's lots of runners out that far side, and it looks like Calvin Phillips has made some ground. They're all trying to run round him. Loads of bodies in the boxes. Maybe it's an opportunity. The ball's in the back of the net, and England have scored through Shaw. Wowee, what a start, Rob. What an incredible start. And there was Luke Shaw to get on the enemy. So many numbers forward for England, but 1-0.
Yeah, absolutely incredible, really, because he had too many options for almost Kieran Trippier. Kyle Walker had bombed alongside him. How many times in this tournament has Kyle Walker not gone downfield? But he's busted a gut to get beyond Trippier. He's got too much time, it seems. Nobody closed him down. Eventually picked his spot. Nobody is marking Luke Shaw. I'm not convinced it was off the sweet spot of his boot, but it went in off the post. Nothing that Donnarumma could do about it. And England have that early lead.
Yeah, they do. And there was a lovely sweeping ball from McCain out to that right-hand side, wasn't there? When the ball came in, right through the box there. And I think it was a lovely finish, actually, from Shaw, left-footed. Let's take another look at it. How clean was he with the strike? He's pretty sure-footed, really. Side foot, I think he's just, guiding that ball home at Wembley Stadium. What an incredible start. First thing that happened was that Maguire poked the ball behind for a corner, and we thought, there might be something on here for Italy. But what there was a counter-attack. Kane picked it up from deep. He looked to his right. There were loads of bodies forward. Eventually, the ball swept into the box from the right-hand side. And there was Luke Shaw with a left-footed effort into the back of the net, past Donnarumma for a brilliant early start for England.
Yeah, and another little bit of a moment there as Italy went down under a challenge and wanted a free kick that they weren't going to get. Obviously, a lot was said about the penalty that England got in the semi-final, a lot by Italy, that is. And of course, we all know what happened with Ciro Immobile, but Italy are trying to fight back. We saw in the semi-final, of course, the last World Cup, arguably, England scored too early and sat back, invited the pressure. But let's hope England have learnt their lessons, as they've just won a handball against Jorginho. It definitely struck his hand. Mason Mount went past him. It was blocked off by Jorginho. And it's a free kick to England deep inside their own half. The stadium appears to be rocking at Wembley. No surprise, England 1-0 up inside 3 minutes. And I would say it's still a nervy start.
Wow, I mean, talk about, we'll try and keep the crowd quiet early doors. You can't see within 2 minutes if you're Italy. But the good news is that they've conceded within 2 minutes. Loads of time for Italy to put that right. But England there, I thought that was brilliant in transition. Kane played such a pivotal part in that goal, dropping deep to get the ball, and maybe Italy had overcommitted from the corner kick, because when the ball came in from the right-hand side, there were so many white shirts in the box, not that many blue defenders back.
Well, they're all in the middle there, the blue defenders. Nobody had gone down the left-hand side to track Kieran Trippier. Nobody closed him down. Yes, they might have been drawn by the run of Walker, but nobody closed down Trippier at all. He's just picking his options, and nobody had tracked the run of Luke Shaw. He just ghosted in at the far post, on the half volley as well. Stabbed it in. Hit it quite sweetly, as you pointed out. I wasn't quite sure, as Calvin Phillips leaves his mark on Jorginho. That's 2 or 3 times he's been I'm not going to say clattered, because that would be over egging it, but that's 2 or 3 times he's been certainly fouled, and England are trying to make their mark in that regard, trying to upset the Chelsea midfielder.
Yeah, they are, and they need to stamp their authority in that midfield area. A lot was made of Calvin Phillips covering a lot of ground against the Danes. There's no doubt that he's fit. I didn't think he played that well personally anyway. Here's an opportunity. Chiesa trying to make ground back on his inside, but runs into a white wall. Looks like England are going to defend pretty deep and with numbers, and then look to try and counter-attack when they can. They've got a chance to do that. Here they go with Chiesa now, Italy, and he looks like he was fouled by Shaw at the edge of the area at least. I think that's what Bjorn Kuipers thinks, the Dutch referee. So no doubt we're seeing a response here from the Azuri, who desperately trying to get back in there, whether that was a foul or not. Bjorn Kuipers thought so, and so it's a free kick in a dangerous area, Rob.
Yeah, I don't think it was a foul. Luke Shaw didn't follow through the tackle. Instead, he was trying to get out of the way. Of course, Chiesa's got pace, ran into him, and then obviously made it look like a foul. It's easy to give a foul from a referee viewpoint. There was 2 around him, but I don't think that's a foul at all. He nutmegged Luke Shaw and then ran into him. But whether it is or it isn't, this free kick is certainly in a very dangerous position.
It is, and Emerson looks like he's going to have a pop at this one, doesn't he? For me, Jordan Pickford is a dodgy keeper. As we see a shot come in, but that's blazed over the top. That was the old right foot effort instead from Lorenzo Insigne, the Napoli man. But in the end, You know, I think he saw a gap, but that's way over.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen worse free kicks, obviously, but I mean, I thought the ball was quite badly placed there. If he kept that lower, he didn't really need to go that far past the post or past the wall to drag it back in. Jordan Pickford got across. That was something he didn't really do against Denmark. He kind of dived from where he was standing, but on that particular free kick, he was using his feet, getting across. He probably had it covered had it been a little bit lower. But Italy, 7.5, coming up to 8 minutes gone. A lot of possession. Pickford hasn't made a save, but of course England have had one possession and scored, so still early days.
It is, but I think England would be slightly happier with the way things have gone. Took their goal really well, you know. I think supporting attacks, it's a young, vibrant team. And if Chiellini and Bonucci had gone forward for the corner kick, then necessarily they didn't get back in time or, you know, pick up the right runners, because Shaw, coming in from the left, had a free strike at goal. It was a bit tight, but he had a free swing at it, and his swing was true. The numbers down the right-hand side as well. I always scream at Kyle Walker to get back, but, you know, it didn't hurt that he was overlapping Trippier. It was Raheem Sterling on the ball now, the man of the tournament, fouled by Chiellini through the back of him. And Chiellini then making matters worse, really, just stepping further over him.
Yeah, well, this is just silly, really. I mean, Chiellini, what's he trying to do? Contact. Sterling's going to go down. It was good play from Sterling. He gambled on the Insigne header. And we know he's got the pace to beat Chiellini. I think Chiellini is worried by that and trying to get super close, but it's just too close, and it's giving England a free kick, giving them some possession inside the Italy half, because they haven't had any. Other than the goal, it sounds ridiculous to say because they're 1-0 up, but they haven't had any possession, England. And that was just a cheap free kick that England would take all day long. You mentioned it, they're sitting very deep, and Sterling was all alone there in the Italy half, and he's managed to get a free kick when it was just an aimless punt downfield.
Yeah, foul there by Bonucci, who got in a little bit too deep on Calvin Phillips. Calvin Phillips, who was ball not too far away from here, where we're talking from. But anyway, here's another opportunity. Ball into the box is a beauty. Trippier's ball into the box, not bad, but well dealt with by Chiellini in the end. It was a decent cross in. Now a bit of work out there, left-hand side, Insigne. And Trippier tell him to get up. He may or may not have been fouled. He's only a little fella, Insigne, 5'4", but he got plenty going for him.
Yeah, I thought it was good play there from England again. But look at all those blue shirts back. We're seeing a replay, of course, independent, unofficial off-tube studio commentary. Lots of blue shirts back in there. Sterling had made a gamble into the 6-yard box, but it was just too many shirts to get past. So it was decent defending on that occasion, albeit in numbers. And that's one thing I would say about Italy, going forward or indeed coming back ball into it, a box, just too much on it for Immobile, the target. I don't think they're that quick a side. They've got full of energy, full of stamina, and they can run all day long. But in terms of out-and-out pace, there isn't much there. And so, you know, Kyle Walker can deal with it defensively, and Sterling, for example, could run rings around that back foot.
He could, and he might. Yeah, I think Kyle Walker. I sort of struggle with him as a player, but one thing is certain, that pace he's got absolutely gets him and his teams out of jail at times. And if all he did was stay in his own half a lot of the time, I think certainly England and his club would be a lot better off. Here is Harry Kane, lovely little bit of footwork from him, and then he takes one in the midriff from Verratti. But Kane coming deep to pick up the ball, and I like that, you know. He can play number 10 if he wants, for me, Harry Kane, and then, you know, look to chip the ball forward. And like we say, he played his part in the goal, where he saw the two players bombing on down that right-hand side, and he found them with a good ball. I mean, sometimes when you see two in front of you, you sort of, you know, hit the ball in between the pair rather than pick somebody out. And I thought it was a good ball from Kane to keep that move alive for the goal. Anyway, pretty glum faces in the crowd already amongst the Italians, but it was a brilliant start by England, who need to kind of settle down a little bit now, Rob.
Yeah, well, 11.5 minutes gone. I think there's been an awful lot of free kicks and certainly attempts to win a free kick as Harry Kane comes forward. That's a better ball. Trippier's in space again out the right. Cross into Raheem Sterling. It's just too far beyond it, but then it's a poor touch from Di Lorenzo. We know what threat England can pose from set pieces. They haven't always done it this tournament. Of course, scored plenty from set plays in the World Cup. They got the first corner.
I don't know what they're doing with Trippier, but they seem to be leaving him alone and hoping that he doesn't do anything good. But it's 3 times now he's put balls into the box. Di Lorenzo didn't deal with that, and in the second minute, of course, they didn't pick up sure who scored. But now it's a corner kick for England, and another opportunity. They're not a small team, England. You know, there he is, Kane, Stone, Maguire in the love train at the edge of the box. The ball comes in, that's big. Donnarumma comes out, all 6'5" of him. It's a good take from him, and now England have got to be careful because the counter-attack is on. And well, that's good refereeing by Bjorn Kuipers. I thought was that Immobile jumping to the ground there. There was no free kick though, and the referee wasn't buying that one.
Well, no, he's right in front of the referee. Now, it's one thing expecting contact, but if you don't get the contact, as Sterling puts on the afterburners and he's dragging 3-4 defenders with him, it's opened up space behind. Admittedly, momentum's lost. Yeah, but that free kick was right in front of the referee. We've seen Jorginho go down a couple of times, a little bit soft for me. I didn't think the Chiesa free kick was a foul. The referee did on that occasion, but at least there was contact. He ran into Shaw, but that's bang in front of the referee. I'd like to see him book him. Here's Mount down the left.
Yeah, Mount into space and into the box, and there was a good challenge there, I thought. In the end, Jorginho doing a good job to dispossess his club colleague, but I think the ball's gone out for another corner, so is it another opportunity? Let's take a look at what happened there. In fact, the ball seemed to come off Mount, didn't it? But what's been given?
It's definitely come off Mount last. He's a little bit lucky there because Jorginho slipped as well. So if he'd had a little bit better control, he could have gone round Jorginho in space there, because I don't think he's trying to. It is raining a little bit at Wembley. Not sure how strong it is, but it's certainly wet. But this should not be a corner. Should be a goal kick.
Should be. Anyway, Trippier now puts the ball in, heading away at the near post, and another opportunity as the ball comes back out. Lovely ball back out to Trippier, who then decides to go to Mount. Puts the ball in, slanted into the box, but Donnarumma will pick that up. We'll have a little recap of what we've seen over the last few minutes. At Wembley, England had got off to a great start, a goal in the first couple of minutes, and the man who put the cross in for that was Trippier. He's put another couple of crosses in as well. They don't seem to be picking him up. The Italians need to do a little bit better with that. Italy have seen more of the ball, but done precious little with it. We saw a free kick at the edge of the area, but Insigne hit the ball well over the goal frame. So England getting into the game a little bit more, which sounds strange because they have the lead.
Yeah, big miss for Italy could be Spinazzola. Of course, he missed the semi-final as well. But for me, he's been Italy's best player in this tournament up until that semi-final. And in my opinion, Italy were much the second best of the two sides against Spain. They just happened to win the shootout. And Spinazzola, I think, is a big miss. Emerson did get forward against Spain. We haven't really seen him get forward yet in this contest, and of course his opposite number, Kieran Trippier, has got an assist, he's got into dangerous positions, and I just wonder if that's just taking something away from Italy in terms of their attacking threat. We haven't seen anything of Insigne either. He has been playing ahead of Spinazzola. He's playing on that left ahead of Emerson, and they haven't got anything going yet for Italy, but as I keep saying, it's still early. Haven't completed 16 minutes yet, and England just starting to at least settle down.
You know, one thing we talked about formations and what have you. I guess if you've gone 1-0 up and it's going to be a tight game, then great that England got that early goal. And if they want to defend a back five, if you like, with two holding midfielders, can probably do that. Match that's bare that out at the minute, where England have had one shot, and it's a shot on target. That's the goal. And the free kick that I mentioned that flew over the top. But here's an opportunity. Then good ball into the box for Italy, but again, just enough pace to get England out of trouble there was Trippier. The flag was up anyway, but let's see, there was a run from a little bit deep, but then I think Immobile it was who, well, I was looking at him for the offside, but then the ball went out left Insigne, but anyway, I think that's just about right, the flag going up.
Yeah, he's. I think it was actually the man I was just saying hadn't got forward. Emerson, it was actually offside. Immobile was offside through the middle, so it's a decent high enough line. Trippier got back to put the tackle in anyway, but that would have been a worry. Just saying, of course, that the left hasn't offered anything for Italy so far. Maybe they're just starting to wake up. Here goes Luke Shaw, the goal scorer.
Yeah, flicks the ball with his outstep there, but just got a little bit too much on it. And what he was doing there, was making sure that Di Lorenzo stays in place. Barella then is chasing him back. You know, Chiesa's here and after him. I mean, Italy, they work hard, don't they? They work hard for each other as a team, but they're being constantly pushed back here. Sometimes the back five can be very defence-minded, but I think this is allowing Shaw to get forward as much as he likes. Certainly Trippier on the other side. So England have properly released their wing-backs, haven't they? And that's standing them in good stead. Hand goes up for Kyle Walker, but this time Insigne's onside. It was a good-looking ball into the box there, but Immobile is beaten in the air by Stones. Ball breaks out left-hand side, and it will be a throw for Italy. They've not got things going yet, but what we've seen through the tournament is that Mancini can get a message out there. They can change their style in mid-flow. They don't have to wait till half-time, Italy, for a change.
No, I mean, see, it'd be interesting to see how they deal if they're behind for long, because they haven't been behind very often. And did Austria take the lead? But I mean, they haven't been conceding goals, so actually being behind is something that's alien to them. We know how they can defend when they're protecting a 1-0 lead. Talk about the experience of Bonucci and Chiellini, but if Italy have to push out and they leave those two a little bit exposed, because Jorginho in front of them, he's not quick at all, so Raheem Sterling could potentially be a massive threat on the counter. England just need to get the ball. Italy, to their credit, they're starting to get on top in that regard, but I still think that could be when England are at their most dangerous.
Ball given away there, not so clever that by Bonucci, and England have it with Raheem Sterling inside their own half, but there's a good little out ball there to Mount. Still a lot of hard work from Italy, means that England have to go back to Shaw, whose out ball wasn't so good, but in the end I think it came off Di Lorenzo. 20 minutes gone, Italy 0, England 1. A lightning start after just 2 minutes. Luke Shaw sweeping the ball into the back of the net. A nice strike, really. Kept his composure, kept on top of the ball. He might look just a touch scruffy off his boot, but it didn't matter. It hit the back of the net and didn't give Donnarumma any kind of chance. England have had some good breaks down the right-hand side, and well, Kane, it was architect of the move, dropped deep to pick up the ball from an Italy corner. He's fouled there, he's Harry Kane. And this time Bjorn Kuiper's on hand to see that Chiellini just got a little bit too deep in there with him, but just pulling the back of his shirt a bit, Chiellini.
Yeah, again, I think England got the benefit of the doubt there, because Verratti seemed to win with the ball in fairly, and Kane was then contesting that ball. You could argue that Kane, gave Verratti a little bit of a kick. So I think it's a little bit generous. I'd have personally liked to see just play continue, no foul. But England are trying to make them pay. That's not a great ball in from Luke Shaw, unless Kieran Trippier is bombing up on the right. He is, but so is Lorenzo. But Trippier's put the pressure on the clearance. He's forced to throw in. And credit to Chiellini, because Trippier did make contact, but he didn't go down softly trying to win a free kick, clear his lines, play on, throw into England.
I think if he'd have gone down there screaming and shouting, it might have been a first yellow card, because Trippier was dead late, wasn't he? Anyway, didn't happen. Italy 0, England 1, and well, it's an absolute dream this for the England fans at Wembley. I'm sure they're making plenty of noise out there, and it wasn't the start that Italy were after, although we were looking at it. Maguire made a mistake, probably because he didn't fancy Pickford's clearance, so he toe poked the ball out for a corner, and you thought, aye, England in a spot of trouble already. And the next thing you know, there's an Italian player down in the middle of the park, nobody near him, trying to work out who that is. Well, that's going to be a massive blow. The other thing about Italy, one of the reasons I liked England a little bit more was England off the bench. I've got brilliant players to bring in. Jack Grealish, we've not seen the best of him. Saka's played pretty well. All sorts of good players to bring on. Marcus Rashford, but for Italy, I think their strongest 11 is out there, and there's not much behind it. But anyway, Jorginho down and getting treatment on his right knee. I'm just looking at their squad, and not too many stronger players out there than what they've got.
Well, they've kind of shied away from. I'm not sure Italy have got any more these days. But that standout sort of playmaker, the Totti type, the Baggio type. They haven't really got those players. It's very workmanlike. Can they mix it up? This is Italy 11, or is it just more of the same off the bench, on the bench? England have certainly got variety, if nothing else. And yes, I think they can change things a little bit better than Italy. The worry about England, of course, is whether they can handle the big occasion, because they haven't been able to for my lifetime, John.
No, exactly. I think I'm living in a different world here, and I'm thinking, oh yeah, Tom Cruise there just fist bumping with David Beckham. What are we watching here? Anyway, what we're watching is England with a 1-0 lead over Italy. And Jorginho trudging off because he's had just a little bit of work done on him, but he looks like he's going to be all right. Having a good long chat with him, and he sat back down again. That doesn't look good, does it, at all? That would be a massive blow. They're a goal down, and one of their pivotal players just sat down. They're down to 10 men at the moment, as they're still working on that right knee, and that doesn't look good at all, does it?
No, he's had a busy day, Tom Cruise, by the way. He's at the Wimbledon final as well. But he's enjoying the football, as is David Beckham. England fans will be. And like you say, Jorginho is down. Personally, I'm not a giant fan of Jorginho regardless. And I think they could have some extra dynamism if he was to go off. I think Verratti plays a similar role as Chiesa comes down the right-hand side, but that's not the best cross in. It's not a great clearance here from Harry Maguire, but it's helped further downfield by Declan Rice. And now England have better possession nearer the halfway line.
Yep, Declan Rice runs into a challenge or two, but comes out with the ball, and Kane really clever footwork and just takes the sting out of that. We saw Brian Cristante warming up, the Roma midfielder, who will come on in and do a similar job. But whether you like Jorginho or not, I think he's the best penalty taker on the planet. He is just ridiculous, isn't he? And do you know what? It might come down to fine margins like that. You know, he took that, I think, the fourth penalty against Spain, didn't he? And it was never in any doubt.
Yeah, my problem there is, though, that every penalty I've seen Jorginho take, he's put it to the keeper's left. Here's Raheem Sterling, who just tried a little nutmeg on Bonucci at the edge of the box, having beaten, I think that was Verratti in the middle of the park. Jorginho actually might be back on the field, so they're back up to 11. He's put it to the keeper's left every time, and surely the Spain keeper has done his research. Here come Italy.
Yeah, they do. And, well, the ball into the middle, not good enough. The clearance is, and then Calvin Phillips comes to tidy up, and he can take the ball away from Chiesa, who does his best to fight back and win it. There's no shortage of effort there, and Jorginho's back, but he doesn't look good, does he? And they're... well, the next thing you've got to do is try and get the ball off Raheem Sterling. I think he's just hurt his leg doing that as well, and he may have to go off. Let's take a look, see how well he's moving. He's still out there anyway. That'll maybe sort itself out. Anyway, Italy 0, England 1, way past the halfway point. Rob will take us to half-time now.
Goal kick to England. Chiesa thought he'd won a corner off Calvin Phillips, but the officials have judged it to have come off Chiesa. Last, Chiellini wins the header, but it's kind of gone sideways, so England have a throw in halfway inside the Italy half. Roberto Mancini, he looks a man under pressure. Obviously, well, I mentioned it, they haven't been behind in this tournament so far, and he looks as though maybe his players aren't responding to his instructions, because he's quite forceful in getting his instructions out there. There's still that energy, there's still that verve trying to chase down England, but there's been no end product as yet from Italy. And England still lead by that 1-0 as John Stones arrows it out towards Kieran Trippier, who does control it, but when he does, the flag goes up for offside, and Italy don't hang around.
Do you know what, the stats that Italy have got, 33 games unbeaten and haven't conceded and blah, blah, blah. Those things can be dead brittle, I think, when you get to finals or tournament football. You know, one thing England learnt was how to, show a bit of character coming from behind. Sometimes it's a bit of a trial by ordeal watching England play, but oftentimes through a tournament you see a team build into it. I didn't know which 11 was going to be fielded, but he's pretty much got a settled team now, hasn't he, Gareth Southgate? So, you know, maybe it's all coming good for him all at the right time, whereas Italy, who haven't been tested, have hardly ever gone behind, have not been put under this pressure for such a long while, just don't seem to be able to cope with it.
Yeah, at the moment they just look a little bit rattled. Jorginho is that sort of pivot, the base of the midfield. He's getting the ball off Bonucci and Chiellini, but He's running around with his arms in the air as he's demanding the ball, so maybe he's run off whatever injury it was. Here's Immobile picking up in the centre, out to Chiesa, now Jorginho, Verratti, forward to Insigne, who's in a very central position, goes for goal. That's ambitious, it's a good 40 yards from goal. He didn't connect as he would have liked. It's dragged well wide off at the post. There's then frustration. I think somebody said something in his ear because he's turned around and remonstrated with somebody, and that will just be a goal kick.
Yeah, it's not good, that is it? I mean, that's a shot of desperation. I think what he's at about 35 yards out, and he missed the goal frame by a good 10 or 15, didn't he? But yeah, and then I don't know who he's shouting to, but they need to do a little bit better. They are a little bit rattled here, aren't they? There's plenty of time for them to settle down and get back into the game, but at the moment I don't know, things don't seem to be working out for them.
Declan Rice puts Di Lorenzo under a little bit of pressure. He might have got the ball. I'm not sure if it's a free kick or a throw in. It's Italy's way, and it was a throw in. And they have taken it. Into the 29th minute, independent unofficial off-tube studio commentary. Italy 0, England 1. The goal coming very early. A surprising source. It was Luke Shaw who got the goal. Here's Harry Kane, 30 yards from goal. He's allowed to turn as well. He's waiting for the white shirts to come up in support. He has it in the box. He ignores Mason Mount. In fact, plays it back towards Declan Rice. Now out to Luke Shaw, hugging the touchline. Didn't control it particularly well first up. Bit of momentum lost. Phillips-Rice exchange passes. Back to Harry Maguire. England slow the pace down, but they're going away from goal. Trying to manage the game, as that appears to be a phrase that's been overused in this tournament. Mason Mount then gives it away, and Italy have it back. 29 minutes just ticking over. For me, I think it's England are starting a little bit too deep.
Yeah, maybe they could move a little bit further up. Do you know what? If you've got the pace of Kyle Walker, you've got that insurance. They are playing with two wingers, Italy, two lads who like to get their head down and can run into space, but I think England just inviting a little bit too much. Maybe that's purposeful because they think that they can break. If they're dragging Chiellini and Bonucci toward the halfway line, they'll feel that they can break past them. That could be it. At a certain point, I think we'd have to give Gareth Southgate a bit of credit. We weren't certain about the lineup. So far, it seems to be yielding benefits, and we've seen Trippier released on that right hand side a number of times, and obviously the other wing back, the scorer, so his wing back system is working today. But it's an interesting watch without being super exciting just yet.
Di Lorenzo penalised for just a little tug on Mason Mount, desperate to get that ball first. Again, it was a clearance from England. Mount's just got his body in between the defender and the ball, tugged out of the way. Bjorn Kuiper's quick to blow his whistle. Free kick to England just inside their own half. Harry Maguire is taking his time over it. Finds Kyle Walker, who's immediately closed down and then caught in possession in the centre circle. He's lucky that Raheem Sterling is helping to track back. Now it's played back to John Stones. Are they trying to play? And that's a poor pass from John Stones. Harry Maguire just about toes it out towards Luke Shaw. Clears it down the line. Comes back from Bonucci. Hack clear by Maguire. All stemming from England's possession from a free kick. They're trying to be too careful. I'm just thinking this smacks of lacking a little bit of confidence. I don't know why.
I think that what they're trying to do is, you talked about control of the game, and I think to some degree they want to calm down into the game and get a feel of the ball and keep it away from Italy, who for the minute are dominating possession. But we saw that from Spain, didn't we? They went a goal up in one of their games, then started playing tiki-taka, and all of a sudden, the opposition gets the equaliser, and then they struggle. They've been a bit too calm today. We talked about the pressure or what could go wrong when you score too early, is that you get a bit too comfortable with that. But here come Italy.
Insigne left channel. He rather telegraphed his pass, although Calvin Phillips has just been blindsided, can't clear his lines. It's still in the box. Verratti plays it back towards Jorginho. It's overhit though. Jorginho has to go and fetch it. Di Lorenzo is up in support, closed down by Mount. Finds Immobile out to Chiesa on the right. Back to Immobile. Nobody in the middle really for Italy as things stand. They're going away from goal as well. Better defending from England, but is in numbers. Nobody downfield. There isn't an outball. Even Sterling's pretty deep. Can't utilise his pace against that back two. And Italy again control possession. Verratti and Jorginho work the 1-2. Coming forward, it's with Barella out towards the left-hand side and Insigne. Even Chiellini is up in support. They're really getting England pegged back at the moment. They're playing rather needless triangles, going nowhere, but they still have a possession. Bit of space on the left for Emerson. Finds Insigne, now Verratti, closed down by Raheem Sterling. Kyle Walker, well, he could have cleared it, but there's nobody downfield, so he didn't want to, and then is dispossessed from behind. Admittedly, the pass then goes back to the halfway line, but England's struggling to get out at the moment, keeping Italy at arm's length. Verratti trying to change that, finds Insigne just on the left edge of the box. He tried the overlapping run for Emerson, who's tried to do really well to keep the ball in. It was a no-look pass from Insigne, and maybe Emerson's caught on his heels. There's then an exchange between Emerson and Trippier. Both appealed for the decision. It's England's goal kick, and just an exchange of views.
It was. I tell you what, I think England are turning Italy into Barcelona here, aren't they? Where, you know, when everybody's forced to drop deep, you know, then you actually win the ball back off them, and then there's no out ball. You look up the field, there's nobody there. You end up dwelling on the ball getting picked off you. We've seen that from Kyle Walker, we've seen that from Cal Phillips in the last 5 minutes. England need to hold a better shape. You know, they need to keep somebody up the field. I think Kane, I like him dropping deep in that number 10. Here's a chance of Raheem Sterling into the box for Mason Mount. He cuts back, but he can't find Raheem Sterling this time. But whenever they do break forward, England, they look pretty dangerous, don't they?
Yes, Trippier shields the ball out by knocking Verratti over. There's no real complaints from Verratti either, in fairness to him. He's not the biggest either, tiny frame, and has just eased off it. So he's back on his feet. England throw. 34 minutes ticking over at Wembley. It's independent, unofficial off-tube studio commentary. 1-0 to England. Mason Mount's backheel doesn't quite work. Chiellini feeds it out to Insigne under a little bit of pressure on the left. He's done well to win a throw-in off Trippier. Throw-in is Italy's halfway inside their own half. Haven't mustered too many efforts at Jordan Pickford's goal. They might be on top possession-wise. It's probably not that much in it. Clever skills from Emerson gets him round Phillips. Phillips probably the only man leading a high press for England. Can he call it a high press if it's just one man doing it? The rest of the white shirts retreating back into their own half. Declan Rice is trying to help Luke Shaw on Chiesa. Well, he held him up initially, but Chiesa's wriggled past him regardless. Here he is on his left foot. Drilled shot just wide of the post. All on his own, the work there from Chiesa. And I'm not sure Pickford's saving that if it's on target. Just wide of the post, goal kick.
Well, that's been their best effort, hasn't it? And brilliant play. He holds off Declan Rice, who manhandles him, tries to foul him, tries to drag him back. He keeps on going, and then it's a left foot strike, and he's inches wide, and he's got Pickford on the plate there, hasn't he? He's just almost down on his knees. You know, that's their best bit of play, and it's individual brilliance there from Federico Chiesa.
Maguire drops his shoulder, tries to get away from Barella, then checks back onto his right, having suckered the run back all the way towards the halfway line. Passes back to Rice, filling in behind. John Stones now tries to go past Immobile. Does so, and Calvin Phillips drops in. John Stones has a look downfield. Didn't quite like his options. Made a point to one or two players downfield. Harry Maguire goes long. We haven't really seen that long ball, but it's a good one to Luke Shaw. The touch wasn't fantastic. There's then a fight for the ball with Chiesa. Luke Shaw's first on his feet to get the ball back. Low ball in. Oh, it's gone through the legs of Mason Mount, who I think tried a little back heel goal. And it's hacked away by Emerson, back all the way over Luke Shaw's head. It's a throw-in rather than a corner kick. Now, Mount didn't quite get as close as I thought he might have done.
No, I mean, interesting stuff, wasn't it? Good ball initially to Shaw, and he fought for it, and he won his little battle, didn't he? And then he fires it across the face, and, you know, on another day it drops to a white shirt. But that was a good response from England. We'll have a little bit of a recap of what we've just seen. At Wembley, it's a tight old game, not too many chances, but we just saw the best one of the game for Italy. Brilliant stuff from Federico Chiesa, picked the ball up in the midfield. Declan Rice was all over him, but he showed strength and pace to get past him. Then his left foot to drive. Saw Jordan Pickford stranded in his goal, but the ball going just wide of his goal frame. England fighting back, then a long ball to Shaw. He won his little duel at the edge of the area, fired the ball across the face, but there was nobody there to put it in the back of the net.
Donnarumma's playing 1-2s with defenders in and around his 6-yard box. I mean, England have backed off. It's all a little bit needless. Looks good up to a point, and then a back heel on the halfway line is giving the ball to England. Early ball from Rice up towards Harry Kane. Eventually gets it out of his feet. Blue shirts have got back into position. Kane has to play it safe back towards the halfway line. Finds Maguire back to Kane, who rather fortuitously gets the better of Kane. Then Luke Shaw's let the ball go out of play. Play to the whistle. It's a school. Taught that at school. Luke Shaw thought Harry Kane was going to get a free kick. Bjorn Kuipers wasn't going to blow his whistle, and so the throw-in is Italy's. Again, England just playing for time in a sense, and it's not quite working. A second goal would be easier to deal with. Here's Emerson cutting inside Kieran Trippier. Those two have had a bit of a battle. Then there's a lunge from Emerson on Declan Rice. The ball had got away from him. He's sort of sat up with his hands in the air, suggesting there was no foul. How many times have we seen this in the Premier League? Defenders lunge in when the ball's got away from them. In fairness to him, it's not the worst tackle. Studs weren't up, in my opinion. It's a genuine attempt to play the ball, but he has caught Declan Rice.
Yeah, he did. The referee did the right thing there. Yeah, it wasn't too bad, was it? He's not trying to go over the ball to hurt his man. I'm sure Declan Rice did get hurt in that, but I think many referees would have given that a yellow as well. But for me, it was probably borderline, that.
Harry Maguire starts to bring it forward, finds a Harry Kane, just beat Chiellini to the ball. Kane went down, no foul, says the referee. Now Insigne's turning for Italy, feeds it out towards Immobile on the left. I'm not quite convinced he's had a touch at Immobile, and he started from an offside position. The flag goes up when he closes on the ball, and more shaking of the head from Ciro Immobile. I suppose, like his team, is full of running, but it's just not quite happening for him. He went too early there, or maybe the pass didn't come early enough. Either way, it's a decent position thrown away by an offside.
Yeah, I thought it was a good run. Ball should have arrived at his feet a little bit sooner, and had it done that, he would have been through. So he might be making good runs, but his teammates aren't finding him. And you were talking about lack of a playmaker. It's quite a long time now since Pirlo was in their team. That's the kind of pass that he'd be making, but he was almost like a one-man team. He was that good. There wasn't a great deal of support from the players in and around him. This is a bit more of a team effort now from Italy, but they're a goal behind, and they're not creating an awful lot. And Pickford has not had a save to make in this first half.
Yeah, Donnarumma hasn't had a save to make, other than the one that beat him, of course. Which has separated the two sides. Here's another attack for Italy, and that's a good switch of play if Emerson can keep it in, which he does. Plenty of white shirts back. Insigne goes on the overlap, and Emerson finds him now, works the 1-2, pulls it back towards the edge of the box. Phillips is in the way, turns and clears downfield up towards Harry Kane as he wrestled out of the way by Bonucci. No, says the referee. Kane's not winning the free kicks that perhaps he did so earlier in the game. His contact with the Italian defenders, be it Chiellini or Bonucci. Referee is just saying play on at the moment. Perhaps needs to be a little bit cleverer.
Well, if it's about being smart, then those two have got over 200 caps, haven't they, for Italy, and they know what that's all about. So it's difficult to do that. What Kane's got in his favour, though, he's a bit younger, and I would say he's as strong as those two. Both strong defenders, but pound for pound, Kane as strong as them can shrug them off as well. But I think he needs to do that rather than looking for free kicks, because those two boys are really savvy.
Mason Mount's just caught Chiesa, and that'll be a free kick to Italy. It's about 30 yards from goal towards the right touchline. Let's have a look. He hasn't really got the ball. I think it was Barella rather than Chiesa, actually, that he caught. Free kick's too wide, too far out to go for goal, but obviously it's a set-piece opportunity. Load the box, perhaps. England are trying to keep a defensive line on the edge of the 18-yard box. 4 minutes to go to the break, plus injury time to be added on. Verratti stood over the free kick. He's got his thigh taped up, incidentally. We talked about the Jorginho injury. Delivery is in. It's not a bad one, but it's headed away by John Stones it was. Only to the edge of the box where Jorginho feeds it to the left and Emerson. Back to Jorginho. Going away from goal at the moment. Insigne and Jorginho work the 1-2. Now Jorginho brings it forward. Emerson's hugging the touchline. Back to Chiesa, who's popping up on the left at the moment. Comes inside Phillips initially, but then doesn't cross or shoot. Offloads to Insigne. Now Jorginho. It's patient and deliberate from Italy. Can they find a final ball? Chiellini is still up from, and Bonucci both still up from the previous free kick, of course. Italy, well, they're not under pressure. They just haven't put the ball in. As a cross from Emerson is blocked by Trippier, and a play for a throw-in. That'll be a little bit disappointing from a Chiellini Bonucci viewpoint. We're in the box. We could attack this. Why didn't somebody deliver?
Yes, right. They're waiting for the perfect moment. It might never come. England are way too passive, though, aren't they? Just sat back and, as we've seen, the Italian players have got good shots on them at the edge of the area. There's a little miscue, and at this time it's from their little winger Insigne. Italy's struggling to get anything going, really. They haven't had a shot on target yet, but England have had only one as well. It's the tight game that we thought it was going to be. And finals don't have to be great. One team will come out with a trophy, and it doesn't matter how well they've played. It's who is on top at the end. At the moment, England winning the arm wrestle, but it's a difficult watch, this one.
Yeah, certainly not taking the game to Italy. They're trying to defend what they've got at the moment and play on the counter, but that's not happening too often. Phillips brings down Barella, who went down very theatrically. Again, Bjorn Kuiper says no foul. Which I like to see from all accounts, even when Kane's doing it. And then Sterling throws himself down on the edge of the box. I think Italy aren't going to like that one too much. Bjorn Kuipers again says no foul. Chiellini tries to help Sterling up. He's having none of it. Italy have possession back though, and here is Barella bringing it forward. The nutmeg on Declan Rice doesn't work. Rice comes away with it, sidesteps Di Lorenzo and goes past that Barella again. Sterling's got acres of space if the pass comes. The pass never comes, and certainly by the time it did, Declan Rice was under pressure and he's played it straight to Chiellini. He wants a free kick, which he's not going to get. And there was an opportunity there to just say to Sterling, can you beat Bonucci in a foot race? But passed up by England.
Can't hold on to the ball like that, can you? The pass was on. He's screaming for it, Sterling. He's been England's best player. Like you said, he's going to win that foot race. You know he's going to win it. But yet, Declan Rice keeps hold of the ball. Here's an opportunity down the left-hand side. A good little bit of play by Insigne, who gets the byline, keeps the ball alive. Did the best he could there.
Emerson on the edge of the box. Is he going to shoot? He fakes the shot, but then it's a heavy touch back inside. It's only stabbed clear to Chiesa, who offloads to Di Lorenzo, out to Barella on the right. And again, England have regrouped, formed those two banks, or maybe it's three banks, with Kane, Sterling and Mount dropping in as a sort of auxiliary midfield. Lots of Italian possession at the end of this half. No end product as yet. Jordan Pickford hasn't had too much to do. Can England keep it that way? 1-0 up with seconds remaining of the opening 45. Ball into the box, looking for Insigne. He'll do well to control that. He did to prevent it going behind for a goal kick. It was hacked away then by Trippier. Throw in to Italy, which they've taken quickly. Then John Stones has run into Emerson, who hurdled the challenge, then fell over and didn't get the free kick that he wanted. Ball's gone up for injury time. It's 4 minutes. Don't say that too often at the end of a half. At the end of a first half, but 4 minutes added on. Jorginho did get a little bit of treatment.
He did, but it's quite a lot of time added on. England look like it's the last minute of the game with the clearances just down the field. It's like anywhere will do. But they want to get in at half-time with that goal advantage. They need to regroup. They also need to think about what they're doing. You talked about them being deep. That was about 15, 20 minutes ago. They've got deeper since then, haven't they? And they're almost playing right in front of Pickford. They're not conceding many opportunities, but, all it takes is one slip and a shot from the edge of the area. They've conceded. They're conceding ground and possession. 62% now for Italy is a lot, and here they come again.
Di Lorenzo with a ball in, shot on the volley is blocked by Stones. I think that was Immobile, just found half a yard. Now Verratti with a shot on the turn. Bit of a dribbler, trickles through the crowd, but a very easy save for Jordan Pickford. Ciro Immobile, of course, is the tip of the spear. How on earth has he got a free volley here on the penalty? Or it's a half volley, actually, on the penalty spot.
He's done that by just walking away from his mark and finding ground like good strikers do. It doesn't matter how many bodies you get back. If you switch off for a second, they're going to score a goal. He wasn't so much a block as much as Immobile's shot hit one of the England defenders. That's the benefit of having bodies back, obviously, but it's not good defending, is it? And they really need to get in at half-time. They need to regroup to England because they're dropping way too deep. It's too passive, too defensive.
Halfway through, just about the added 4 minutes, Sterling gets a touch. It's been a while. Mount trying to keep it in play. Italy swarming all over him. Luke Shaw, his body in there as well. Now it ball comes out to Kane, who tries to square for Phillips, but he's overcooked. And that'll fall nicely for Immobile, who's back there helping out. Real burst of speed from Immobile. Oh, then the clearance downfield from Emerson, hit the back of his own teammate. Takes all the pace off it, and Stones is able to step forward and intercept. Low ball from Walker. It's only half, almost intercepted, but not quite. Phillips picks up the ricochet, finds Maguire out to the left, and Luke Shaw just inside the Italy half, back into his own to Declan Rice. England an element of control at the moment. Obviously Italy's pressing game can take its toll in terms of legs and energy. Good ball from Luke Shaw to Mount, now to Raheem Sterling, the edge of the box, tries to square for Kane, but it's intercepted by Jorginho. Didn't really see the options there. Jorginho feeds it out to Di Lorenzo. It's a good switch of play out towards Insigne, up to Chiesa. Phillips just holds him up momentarily, but he's full of energy and tricks, is Chiesa. Regains the ball, and then Barella overplays it. Emerson's done really well to keep it in. We've got a minute left of stoppage time. Italy back on the attack, all barring Donnarumma inside the England half at the moment, but Jorginho and Chiellini are exchanging passes near the centre circle. Time will run out. They are bringing it forward ever so slowly. Di Lorenzo, 35 yards out, now to Bonucci, tries his luck, goes for goal. Again, that is ambitious from a centre-back that far out. It's further out than when Vincent Kompany scored against Leicester a few seasons ago. I suppose time is running out, though.
Yeah, part of me thinks, well, if Pickford is the dodgy keeper, then every time you get the ball somewhere near, you're going to have a goal. But it's got to be on target, hasn't it? And he was a long, long way away there. I think as soon as this ball's up in the air, England will be pretty much on their way to get their half-time cup of tea. They're a goal up, but you couldn't say that they've necessarily been the better team the first half, but probably a victim of their own success because they scored that goal, and that's made them sit back a little bit.
Declan Rice has left his mark on an Italian. The referee's trying to play the advantage. We are into the 5th minute stoppage time. Kuiper's blow his whistle. Is that for half-time or for the foul? No, it is for half-time. Declan Rice has told the Italian, didn't quite see who it was, to get to his feet. At the break, it is Italy 0, England 1. Luke Shaw's goal in just the 3rd minute. The difference between the two sides, but this is tense and nervous, and we've got a second half coming up soon.
It is half-time at Wembley Stadium in the Euro 2020 final. Italy 0, England 1. England scored after just 2 minutes on the counter-attack, would you believe, after an Italy corner. Good work from Kane. Good work down the right side from Trippier. He's cross in, found it. Luke Shaw running in from the left-hand side, unmarked, who stroked it into the back of the net. Since then, Italy have dominated possession and territory. Their best efforts have come from Chiesa. Good effort with a strike just wide, and then Immobile, a volley blocked at the edge of the half. It's half-time at Wembley in the Euro 2020 final. Italy 0, England 1. England scored after just 2 minutes on the counter-attack after an Italy corner. So good work from Kane. He saw Trippier out the right-hand side. Trippier's ball into the box was good. Found it. Luke Shaw on his left foot drive into the back of net. Too good for Gianluigi Donnarumma. Italy have dominated possession in territory. Had a good couple of chances as well. Federico Chiesa's left foot drive was just wide, and then Ciro Immobile had a volley blocked in the box. It's half-time at Wembley in the Euro 2020 final. Italy 0, England 1. England scored after just 2 minutes on the counter-attack after an Italy corner. So good work from Kane. He saw Trippier out the right-hand side. Trippier's ball into the box was good. Found it. Luke Shaw on his left foot drive into the back of net. Too good for Gianluigi Donnarumma. Italy have dominated possession in territory. Had a good couple of chances as well. Federico Chiesa's left foot drive was just wide, and then Ciro Immobile had a volley blocked in the box.
It's half-time at Wembley in the Euro 2020 final. Italy 0, England 1. England scored after just 2 minutes on the counter-attack after an Italy corner. It's a good work from Kane. He saw Trippier out the right-hand side. Trippier's ball into the box was good. Found it Luke Shaw on his left foot drive into the back of net. Too good for Gianluigi Donnarumma. Italy have dominated possession in territory. Had a good couple of chances as well. Federico Chiesa's left foot drive was just wide, and then Ciro Immobile had a volley blocked in the box. It's half-time at Wembley in the Euro 2020 final. Italy 0, England 1. England scored after just 2 minutes on the counter-attack after an Italy corner. It's a good work from Kane. He saw Trippier out the right-hand side. Trippier's ball into the box was good. Found it Luke Shaw on his left foot drive into the back of net. Too good for Gianluigi Donnarumma. Italy have dominated possession in territory. Had a good couple of chances as well. Federico Chiesa's left foot drive was just wide, and then Ciro Immobile had a volley blocked in the box. It's half-time at Wembley in the Euro 2020 final. Italy 0, England 1. England scored after just 2 minutes on the counter-attack after an Italy corner. It's a good work from Kane. He saw Trippier out the right-hand side. Trippier's ball into the box was good. Found it Luke Shaw on his left foot drive into the back of net. Too good for Gianluigi Donnarumma. Italy have dominated possession in territory. Had a good couple of chances as well. Federico Chiesa's left foot drive was just wide, and then Ciro Immobile had a volley blocked in the box. It's half-time at Wembley in the Euro 2020 final. Italy 0, England 1. England scored after just 2 minutes on the counter-attack after an Italy corner. It's a good work from Kane. He saw Trippier out the right-hand side. Trippier's ball into the box was good. Found it Luke Shaw on his left foot drive into the back of net. Too good for Gianluigi Donnarumma. Italy have dominated possession in territory. Had a good couple of chances as well. Federico Chiesa's left foot drive was just wide, and then Ciro Immobile had a volley blocked in the box. It's half-time at Wembley in the Euro 2020 final. Italy 0, England 1. England scored after just 2 minutes on the counter-attack after an Italy corner. It's a good work from Kane. He saw Trippier out the right-hand side. Trippier's ball into the box was good. Found it Luke Shaw on his left foot drive into the back of net. Too good for Gianluigi Donnarumma. Italy have dominated possession in territory. Had a good couple of chances as well. Federico Chiesa's left foot drive was just wide, and then Ciro Immobile had a volley blocked in the box. It's half-time at Wembley in the Euro 2020 final. Italy 0, England 1. England scored after just 2 minutes on the counter-attack after an Italy corner. It's a good work from Kane. He saw Trippier out the right-hand side. Trippier's ball into the box was good. Found it Luke Shaw on his left foot drive into the back of net. Too good for Gianluigi Donnarumma. Italy have dominated possession in territory. Had a good couple of chances as well. Federico Chiesa's left foot drive was just wide, and then Ciro Immobile had a volley blocked in the box. It's half-time at Wembley in the Euro 2020 final. Italy 0, England 1. England scored after just 2 minutes on the counter-attack after an Italy corner. It's a good work from Kane. He saw Trippier out the right-hand side. Trippier's ball into the box was good. Found it Luke Shaw on his left foot drive into the back of net. Too good for Gianluigi Donnarumma. Italy have dominated possession in territory. Had a good couple of chances as well. Federico Chiesa's left foot drive was just wide, and then Ciro Immobile had a volley blocked in the box. It's half-time at Wembley in the Euro 2020 final. Italy 0, England 1. England scored after just 2 minutes on the counter-attack after an Italy corner. It's a good work from Kane. He saw Trippier out the right-hand side. Trippier's ball into the box was good. Found it Luke Shaw on his left foot drive into the back of net. Too good for Gianluigi Donnarumma. Italy have dominated possession in territory. Had a good couple of chances as well. Federico Chiesa's left foot drive was just wide, and then Ciro Immobile had a volley blocked in the box. It's half-time at Wembley in the Euro 2020 final. Italy 0, England 1. England scored after just 2 minutes on the counter-attack after an Italy corner. It's a good work from Kane. He saw Trippier out the right-hand side. Trippier's ball into the box was good. Found it Luke Shaw on his left foot drive into the back of net. Too good for Gianluigi Donnarumma. Italy have dominated possession in territory. Had a good couple of chances as well. Federico Chiesa's left foot drive was just wide, and then Ciro Immobile had a volley blocked in the box. It's half-time at Wembley in the Euro 2020 final. Italy 0, England 1. England scored after just 2 minutes on the counter-attack after an Italy corner. It's a good work from Kane. He saw Trippier out the right-hand side. Trippier's ball into the box was good. Found it Luke Shaw on his left foot drive into the back of net. Too good for Gianluigi Donnarumma. Italy have dominated possession in territory. Had a good couple of chances as well. Federico Chiesa's left foot drive was just wide, and then Ciro Immobile had a volley blocked in the box. It's half-time at Wembley in the Euro 2020 final. Italy 0, England 1. England scored after just 2 minutes on the counter-attack after an Italy corner. So good work from Kane. He saw Trippier out the right-hand side. Trippier's ball into the box was good. Found it Luke Shaw on his left foot drive into the back of net. Too good for Gianluigi Donnarumma. Italy have dominated possession in territory. Had a good couple of chances as well. Federico Chiesa's left foot drive was just wide, and then Ciro Immobile had a volley blocked in the box. It's half-time at Wembley in the Euro 2020 final. Italy 0, England 1. England scored after just 2 minutes on the counter-attack after an Italy corner. So good work from Kane. He saw Trippier out the right-hand side. Trippier's ball into the box was good. Found it Luke Shaw on his left foot drive into the back of net. Too good for Gianluigi Donnarumma. Italy have dominated possession in territory. Had a good couple of chances as well. Federico Chiesa's left foot drive was just wide, and then Ciro Immobile had a volley blocked in the box. It's half-time at Wembley in the Euro 2020 final. Italy 0, England 1. England scored after just 2 minutes on the counter-attack after an Italy corner. So good work from Kane. He saw Trippier out the right-hand side. Trippier's ball into the box was good. Found it Luke Shaw on his left foot drive into the back of net. Too good for Gianluigi Donnarumma. Italy have dominated possession in territory. Had a good couple of chances as well. Federico Chiesa's left foot drive was just wide, and then Ciro Immobile had a volley blocked in the box. It's half-time at Wembley in the Euro 2020 final. Italy 0, England 1. England scored after just 2 minutes on the counter-attack after an Italy corner. So good work from Kane. He saw Trippier out the right-hand side. Trippier's ball into the box was good. Found it Luke Shaw on his left foot drive into the back of net. Too good for Gianluigi Donnarumma. Italy have dominated possession in territory. Had a good couple of chances as well. Federico Chiesa's left foot drive was just wide, and then Ciro Immobile had a volley blocked in the box. It's half-time at Wembley in the Euro 2020 final. Italy 0, England 1. England scored after just 2 minutes on the counter-attack after an Italy corner. So good work from Kane. He saw Trippier out the right-hand side. Trippier's ball into the box was good. Found it Luke Shaw on his left foot drive into the back of net. Too good for Gianluigi Donnarumma. Italy have dominated possession in territory. Had a good couple of chances as well. Federico Chiesa's left foot drive was just wide, and then Ciro Immobile had a volley blocked in the box. It's half-time at Wembley in the Euro 2020 final. Italy 0, England 1. England scored after just 2 minutes on the counter-attack after an Italy corner. So good work from Kane. He saw Trippier out the right-hand side. Trippier's ball into the box was good. Found it Luke Shaw on his left foot drive into the back of net. Too good for Gianluigi Donnarumma. Italy have dominated possession in territory. Had a good couple of chances as well. Federico Chiesa's left foot drive was just wide, and then Ciro Immobile had a volley blocked in the box. It's half-time at Wembley in the Euro 2020 final. Italy 0, England 1. England scored after just 2 minutes on the counter-attack after an Italy corner. So good work from Kane. He saw Trippier out the right-hand side. Trippier's ball into the box was good. Found it Luke Shaw on his left foot drive into the back of net. Too good for Gianluigi Donnarumma. Italy have dominated possession in territory. Had a good couple of chances as well. Federico Chiesa's left foot drive was just wide, and then Ciro Immobile had a volley blocked in the box. It's half-time at Wembley in the Euro 2020 final. Italy 0, England 1. England scored after just 2 minutes on the counter-attack after an Italy corner. So good work from Kane. He saw Trippier out the right-hand side. Trippier's ball into the box was good. Found it Luke Shaw on his left foot drive into the back of net. Too good for Gianluigi Donnarumma. Italy have dominated possession in territory. Had a good couple of chances as well. Federico Chiesa's left foot drive was just wide, and then Ciro Immobile had a volley blocked in the box. It's half-time at Wembley in the Euro 2020 final. Italy 0, England 1. England scored after just 2 minutes on the counter-attack after an Italy corner. So good work from Kane. He saw Trippier out the right-hand side. Trippier's ball into the box was good. Found it Luke Shaw on his left foot drive into the back of net. Too good for Gianluigi Donnarumma. Italy have dominated possession in territory. Had a good couple of chances as well. Federico Chiesa's left foot drive was just wide, and then Ciro Immobile had a volley blocked in the box. It's half-time at Wembley in the Euro 2020 final. Italy 0, England 1. England scored after just 2 minutes on the counter-attack after an Italy corner. So good work from Kane. He saw Trippier out the right-hand side. Trippier's ball into the box was good. Found it Luke Shaw on his left foot drive into the back of net. Too good for Gianluigi Donnarumma. Italy have dominated possession in territory. Had a good couple of chances as well. Federico Chiesa's left foot drive was just wide, and then Ciro Immobile had a volley blocked in the box. It's half-time at Wembley in the Euro 2020 final. Italy 0, England 1. England scored after just 2 minutes on the counter-attack after an Italy corner. It's a good work from Kane. He saw Trippier out the right-hand side. Trippier's ball into the box was good. Found Luke Shaw on his left foot drive into the back of net. Too good for Gianluigi Donnarumma. Italy have dominated possession in territory. Had a good couple of chances as well. Federico Chiesa's left foot drive was just wide, and then Ciro Immobile had a volley blocked in the box. It's half-time at Wembley in the Euro 2020 final. Italy 0, England 1. England scored after just 2 minutes on the counter-attack after an Italy corner. It's a good work from Kane. He saw Trippier out the right-hand side. Trippier's ball into the box was good. Found Luke Shaw on his left foot drive into the back of net. Too good for Gianluigi Donnarumma. Italy have dominated possession in territory. Had a good couple of chances as well. Federico Chiesa's left foot drive was just wide, and then Ciro Immobile had a volley blocked in the box. It's half-time at Wembley in the Euro 2020 final. Italy 0, England 1. England scored after just 2 minutes on the counter-attack after an Italy corner. It's a good work from Kane. He saw Trippier out the right-hand side. Trippier's ball into the box was good. Found Luke Shaw on his left foot drive into the back of net. Too good for Gianluigi Donnarumma. Italy have dominated possession in territory. Had a good couple of chances as well. Federico Chiesa's left foot drive was just wide, and then Ciro Immobile had a volley blocked in the box. It's half-time at Wembley in the Euro 2020 final. Italy 0, England 1. England scored after just 2 minutes on the counter-attack after an Italy corner. It's a good work from Kane. He saw Trippier out the right-hand side. Trippier's ball into the box was good. Found Luke Shaw on his left foot drive into the back of net. Too good for Gianluigi Donnarumma. Italy have dominated possession in territory. Had a good couple of chances as well. Federico Chiesa's left foot drive was just wide, and then Ciro Immobile had a volley blocked in the box. It's half-time at Wembley in the Euro 2020 final. Italy 0, England 1. England scored after just 2 minutes on the counter-attack after an Italy corner. It's a good work from Kane. He saw Trippier out the right-hand side. Trippier's ball into the box was good. Found Luke Shaw on his left foot drive into the back of net. Too good for Gianluigi Donnarumma. Italy have dominated possession in territory. Had a good couple of chances as well. Federico Chiesa's left foot drive was just wide, and then Ciro Immobile had a volley blocked in the box. It's half-time at Wembley in the Euro 2020 final. Italy 0, England 1. England scored after just 2 minutes on the counter-attack after an Italy corner. It's a good work from Kane. He saw Trippier out the right-hand side. Trippier's ball into the box was good. Found Luke Shaw on his left foot drive into the back of net. Too good for Gianluigi Donnarumma. Italy have dominated possession in territory. Had a good couple of chances as well. Federico Chiesa's left foot drive was just wide, and then Ciro Immobile had a volley blocked in the box. It's half-time at Wembley in the Euro.
Right, we're back, and the players are back. And, well, we've been discussing whether football's coming home. It possibly is, and it possibly isn't. But anyway, I'm so sick and tired of that song. One way or another, I'll be glad when this is all over. But for the moment, England have a goal lead, Robin. Do you know what? In a tie game, that's not a bad thing to have.
No, definitely. I mean, I think England could have played better in that first half. They got the early goal. I thought they were a little bit too deep, trying to play on the counter, but never threatened on the counter, I have to say. Italy didn't threaten that much, but I'm thinking that Immobile chance just before half-time, it was blocked by Stones. The Chiesa shot just past the post. It could have been a different story. Italy have had more shots than England. They just haven't hit the target. But if England win 1-0 with no more shots and Italy have 1,000, it won't really matter. It's the proof's in the pudding.
Exactly. You know, from the moment that Leicester City won the Premier League with a team that were a rapier on the counter-attack and didn't have that much possession of the ball, you thought, well, anything perhaps is possible, and there are more than one ways to win a football game. Anyhow, all those things we said about Italy are true, though. They did have more of the ball. They certainly the stats would be in their favour. 6 efforts, but only 1 on target. 65% possession, but as it is, England's 1 effort hit the back of the net, and it was a pretty good one as well. Luke Shaw, real trusty left-footed strike. Here come Italy down the right-hand side. So you're listening to Independent Off-Tube Studio Commentary. I'm John Hogan. I'm with Rob Eddy, and well, right from the get-go, England getting that early goal. We talked about whether it was going to be a benefit or sort of hang around their neck a little bit, and it's actually been a little bit of both. You know, they got the goal great, but it's meant that they've sat back a little bit too deep.
Yeah, definitely too deep for me. A second goal would be nice, but I mean, they've had one shot, you've mentioned it, they've had one shot, England, it happens to have gone in, and it was in the second, third minute. Harry Kane's trying to change that as he's caught by Jorginho. Jorginho might find himself in the pocket. That's the first yellow card of the game, sliding in, just not quick enough. And he's caught the England captain, sorry, was it?
Yeah, 18 rather than 8, but you saw the 8, and it was late there. It was great work by Kane, just wriggling round past Jorginho, and then he was tagged by Barella, just booting out his ankle there. And Nicolo Barella, there's a yellow card. Well, does he miss the next game? Who could care? Because you know what, the next game's not that important, is it? I'm sure in a final. Although you've got to be careful, don't you? Bjorn Kuiper showed that he didn't really want to show too many yellow cards, and he held it together pretty well, the Dutch referee. Anyway, England have got a little attack on down the left-hand side. The ball's out for a throw. Shaw takes out one. Mount fights for the ball. Shaw wins it back. Mount was looking for a free kick, but the ball's into Raheem Sterling into the box, and he brought down there by Chiellini. He's asking the question, and the referee is saying no. Perhaps VAR will look at that. Raheem Sterling screaming at him, and well, the camera lingering on the Bonucci. It was a desperate bid to bring Raheem Sterling down, but I think he was just about the right side of it there, Bonucci. For me, it wouldn't be a penalty.
Yeah, and I think we've seen in the tournament, VAR isn't going to overturn a referee's decision, really, are they? They've had a look at a few things, and they've never sort of said you need to change this. Thinking of England's penalty claim against Scotland, there have been others as well. The referee, of course, gave the penalty against Denmark, and VAR backed him up as a ball over the top. Trippier just about deals with it, and Pickford hammered it away. But, I mean, this is what England haven't been doing. Giving the ball to Raheem Sterling, he's got the pace to essentially skin Chiellini, Bonucci. Doesn't matter. I've seen a replay. That for me isn't a penalty. The arm does come out and tries to block his path. It isn't a penalty. He's let lots more contact go, Kuipers. That's not going to get overturned. But England haven't been giving Sterling the ball. I mean, he just left them for dead. Unfortunately, it was too close to the keeper. I think the keeper would have got there anyway. But they're not feeding him in a situation where he can take Chiellini or Bonucci on for raw pace, because he's going to eat them alive.
He just did then, didn't he? And I thought you're right. He's toe poked the ball too far ahead of himself so that Donnarumma is going to get it. Otherwise, I think Bonucci has fouled him. You know, but he's not going to get on the end of that ball. And the other thing is that Raheem Sterling is leaving his leg there to tangle with the Bonucci. But anyway, Raheem Sterling now gives a free kick away inside the D. This is a real danger for England. This could hit the back of the net, and they're all looking at the Italians now saying, right, we'll have a go at this. Insigne was brought down by Sterling, who's angry because he didn't get a free kick the other way. But that could cost England dearly, that.
Yeah, I'm not convinced. If you're going on some things that the referees let go, I think, again, there's not much in it. He's leaned into him a little bit. You might argue it's from behind, and that might be influencing the referee. But as I say, I think there's plenty that the referees let go. So I would be a little bit annoyed if I was an England player. Having said that, this is not too dissimilar position to the Danish free kick, is it? So Insigne, get it up and over the wall and hit the target. Make Pickford work. Good position.
Yeah, and for me, it's got to be right over. He said Insigne is going to hit it, and it's gone wide. He doesn't need to make a save, and they need to get shots on target. That's an obvious thing to say, Rob, but you know what? Test the keeper out, but there he's wide of the goal frame, and it looks like Pickford probably had it covered anyway. Yeah,
he probably had it covered. I love the way he came rushing out to have a go at his wall. It's like the wall's on the other side, Jordan. Just calm down. It did its job. So yeah, it's another effort. It's not too far off, but it is off target, and a little bit of a let off. Here come England with Harry Kane. They're not making that fast start that they did against Ukraine. A couple of quick goals after the half time there, after a rather lacklustre first half, despite taking an early goal. But Italy, no doubt, a better side than Ukraine, so I wasn't expecting easy. At least there's a threat of bodies in white shirts in the opposition half-stroke area, because there wasn't too much of that towards the end of the first half.
Yeah, we talked about half-time and coming at a good time for England because they dropped too deep, and it looks like Gareth Southgate's team are holding their shape a little bit better. it's such a massive game. Oftentimes the finals, the teams don't behave like you think they should. Good play there by Calvin Phillips, and now Declan Rice bombs forward and puts a good ball into Kane. His touch has been pretty good, but that's a good challenge on him, and now an opportunity, and bombing down the right hand side is Chiesa. Made good ground there, and he's got to aim at the ball into the box there, and Kyle Walker, Rolls-Royce engine there, just nods the ball back to Pickford. He's a big fella, and the man is up against his 5'4". That was a proper mismatch there.
Yeah, he just had too much pace, didn't he? He gave him 20 yards, but he knew what he was doing there, Kyle Walker, and he's got a good leap as well, cushioned header, and I think he's controlled that sort of right side of England's half as Chiellini knocks over Sterling. Again, it would have been soft. No foul, says the referee. Looks as though is that Pessina who's going to come on soon for Italy.
I think Jorginho's going off because Cristante is about to come on, and also I think we saw Domenico Berardi about to come on. Here's Emerson now bombing forward, and he's got that little number 10 on his outside. An opportunity then for Lorenzo Insigne into the box. It goes, a right-footed shot. That's really well wide.
Yeah, I mean, he scored a goal against Spain, didn't he? I've not been overly impressed with him, Insigne, in this tournament, which might seem a little bit harsh. Italy, of course, have been cruising through it. But I think Spinazzola has been a big benefit for him. The runs that he makes beyond him, he essentially does all of Insigne's running for him. And if he hasn't got a fullback taking away the eyes of the defender, be it Trippier, be it Walker, then I think he's disappointed in this tournament. You might argue that most of Italy's forwards have disappointed so far. I suppose the forwards on both sides of the pitch haven't been too involved in the game. England have had one shot, as we've said. I'd like to see more from Mason Mount, because at the moment I don't think he's contributing to England in any way as an attacking unit. That might be being harsh, but if you put on another player with pace, there's just that extra threat there that Bonucci and Chiellini and the two fullbacks are going to be worried about.
So maybe Rashford, maybe Saka to come on, possibly. We're going to see Domenico Berardi come on, but we've seen Cristante come on now, and that's actually for Barella. Maybe because of his yellow card. That's a surprise, really, because we thought Jorginho was the man struggling. Anyway, Cristante, the first of what looks a couple, and it looks like Immobile. So they're not breaking the system, Rob. It's like for like that, and just two fresh players on it. Berardi's got a good scoring record for Italy, 5 goals out of 16 games, but I think that's symptomatic of the fact that England actually have defended fairly well.
Yeah, I mean, they've kept Immobile quiet, but he's been the man in the middle, hasn't he? And he needs the... Bonucci's just clattered Raheem Sterling. He wags his fingers, though he didn't touch Sterling, but he looked as though he'd caught him there. And this time, Bjorn Kuipers does get Bonucci the yellow card, or give Bonucci the yellow card. It's a bit of a hack. He just turned him quickly, and of course Bonucci wasn't quick enough. Followed through with his tackle, took him out. That's the yellow card, but... Yeah, England in a decent position from a set-piece situation, close to the corner flag. And delivery, I think England had a couple of corners, never really threatened, did they, in the first half. Luke Shaw has put in some good crosses, though, in the tournament, as has Trippier. We just haven't quite seen it yet from this side of the pitch. Kuipers, the referee, just got a problem with his his equipment. He's just getting that seen to. So England can assess their options. Luke Shaw looks as though he's going to deliver this in, or a away swinger from the left.
Yeah, and we talked about the Ukraine, where after the half-time and after a fairly lacklustre first half, England got good and they showed they were good at set-piece, but the ball comes in now. Maybe an opportunity, and Maguire's header goes over. He's leaning back, did well to get his header, but it was well wide in the end. Yeah,
well wide. He lacked the power as well, and I think if it had been on target, I mean, it was nowhere near the target. Donnarumma was probably going to save that. Decent defending. They allowed Maguire the header, but they made sure he didn't get the run, and if anything, it was a little bit off balance. But at least it's an effort at goal from an England viewpoint. But Italy back in possession.
Yep, trying to find their new man. He's run offside initially, but the ball goes left anyway. An opportunity then for Chiesa, who was running it into the box, tries to get the shot away. The rebound drops, and then the shot comes in, and That's a good effort from the Pickford at his near post, and that might just be the first or second effort on target, is it, for Italy?
Well, again, it's Insigne's popped up in space. That's because somebody's doing his running for him. It was Chiesa on the left and helped out by Emerson, and then Insigne is allowed to pick a little bit of a gap where he can find some space. If he has to do it on his own, he's not been doing it, and that's why people like Emerson and Di Lorenzo just need to start committing runs forward. It might leave them a little bit exposed, but it does, as we've just seen, offer a bit of threat, offer a bit of space to the more attacking players.
Di Lorenzo then trying to work out with his colleague. I'm not sure that was great. Typically Pickford balling his team out. Looking at Chiesa having a strike there. That's blocked away, and then the little 10 has a shot. I think might have been going wide anyway, but Pickford makes the save, so I'm not even sure that was an effort on target. We'll have a little recap in a minute, but the ball's still in play, and it's still Italy. It's the same pattern really as the first half, Rob, where Italy are dominating.
Well, again, looking at the side now, I mean, Kane's in the midfield, as is Sterling, as is Mount. I mean, England are defending 30 yards from their goal. They're not off. There's no outball. If England get the ball back, where are they going to go with it? At the moment, Italy are just being patient. They're only a goal down. It's pointless panicking. There's more than half an hour to go. So they don't need to press the panic button just yet. But, I mean, England are just sitting back and inviting the pressure. So that's a slight mistake. It's actually kept in by Italy down the left-hand side, not for the second time. I think that's Berardi's run it into touch. But I mean, that's your striker is 30 yards from his own goal. It's saying an awful lot.
At Wembley, still Italy 0, England 1. The same pattern as the first half, really, with Italy dominating. They've had half chances. We saw Sterling foul at the edge of the box. Lorenzo Insigne didn't get his effort away on target. We saw Chiesa a shot blocked, and then Insigne an effort at the near post. Pickford saved it, but we actually thought he was going wide for Raheem Sterling. He's had a penalty shout, but Bonucci tangled with him, but it didn't matter really. And Maguire then a header wide, still England a narrow lead.
Slight miscommunication at the back there between Maguire and Stones. Maguire did well to prevent the corner, and the throw-in from Italy near the corner flag has actually been worked back to the halfway line. But again, it's easy Azzurri possession. Harry Kane is quite deep defensively. Sterling is out on the right, Mount on the left. England need to somehow find a way of getting on the ball and getting a bit of control, because you'd think sooner or later Italy are going to fashion a chance. And if England don't threaten a second, this game will be longer than 90 minutes if they are on the attack.
Yeah, Di Lorenzo puts the ball in, it's chested and then knocked back, but well, what's been given here, I think it's a free kick for handball, and referee's looking at Federico Chiesa, but anyway, we'll take another look. Whose hand was it? Emerson with the handball, and well, you can't believe that was given, but well, there we go. He did seem to control it. That left arm of his just keeping the ball at his feet. Italy 0, England 1, and the England fans trying to encourage England. They're happy that they're on the lead, but I wouldn't say that they're playing well. And if England are conceded right now, well, you know, it'd be difficult to see them regaining that momentum to try and get a lead back into the game. They've been playing that deep for that long, but anyway, here they go. They're trying to play out. Chiellini wins his head, and then in the middle of the park, there's Calvin Phillips. It does pretty well. And he finds Declan Rice, and he goes bombing on now, and he puts his head down, trying to stab the ball forward. It's not a good ball for Raheem Sterling. Declan Rice has had a decent tournament, but again, maybe his passing just lets him down a little bit, Rob.
Yeah, at least he's showing a bit of energy and drive from midfield. It's asking that Italy midfield to track back, and they did. But it's obviously where you want them. You want them tracking back, not running at your own defence and midfield into your own half. So at least it's asking a question the other way. Just put a decent challenge in there as well on Jorginho, did Declan Rice, and Italy have to start again through Donnarumma. But yeah, England aren't getting too much going. I thought it was an opportunity to play it out to Luke Shaw, but England aren't getting Mount involved. They aren't getting Sterling involved, and Harry Kane, all of his work at the moment is in his own half. So England is just offering absolutely nothing. I think it's a dangerous game to play, but we'll see how it pans out.
Yeah, Cristante plays a poor ball forward, but that's asking then Jordan Pickford to come out and clear his lines. He Takes the ball past the on-rushing Berardi and then clears his lines, but only finds a blue shirt. And here they come again. Real opportunity at the edge of the area and into the box now. And everybody for England just standing off. And it's a shot on target and it's a save from Pickford. Decent chance for Federico Chiesa. They're all standing off him then, Rob. And it's like saying, go on, have a shot then, kid. He did, and it wasn't a bad one.
Yeah, I mean, if you just give him that no pressure on the ball, they're just worried about the shot. They are trying to block it, in fairness, but they showed him onto his right foot, and it's a decent strike, good save. Jordan Pickford's hopping and skipping in his own area. This is a pull cross this time from Insigne, and it's going to bounce through to Jordan Pickford, and he's going to bide his time before he picks it up. But somebody's got to get a grip of this team. England, when was the last time they hit 2-3 passes in succession? It hasn't happened this half. It's certainly been a while. Nobody was expecting an easy game against Italy, but at the moment they're just clearing the lines and then defending.
Yeah, that goal is subtly it's made the game weird, hasn't it? And England have just decided that they're just going to sit and try and hang on to it. Here is Mount trying to get round the back, but in the end, I think maybe Giovanni Di Lorenzo felt he needed to do something about that, the Napoli man. And it looks like England might have won themselves a corner kick there. There seem to be a few bodies dragging themselves up the field. They seem reluctant to do that, England, now, don't they, even from a corner? You know, here come Stones, Maguire. The big boys are in there now, Declan Rice. Obviously, they're taking their own sweet time to do that, and I understand that. They're a long way out to be wasting time, though, Rob.
Well, they were doing this in the first half. They were taking forever for a throw-in, for example. I think it's a method to try and perhaps upset the Italians. It's something Italy would no doubt do themselves.
Yep, they sure would. In comes the ball, and the header from Stones goes over the top. I think Donnarumma had that one covered. Did he just
save on it?
Yeah, did he tip it over there? I'm not sure he needed to. Let's take another look. Rob, what do you think?
Yeah, he just got a fingertip to it. It's probably going over. It might have hit the woodwork, but I don't think it was the right side of the woodwork, underneath the crossbar. I think Stones had just slightly misjudged it. He got it more on his sort of neck, shoulder area, and it was a looping effort. Another corner, though.
In it comes, up go the heads, but this time it's a good firm header away by Chiesa. Ball goes back to Shaw to end it back, and that means that he's got to go all the way back to Pickford, who will clear his lines and just decides to thump it forward. Probably the right thing to do there. Then the header comes off Di Lorenzo, I felt, and that will be an England throw. Italy 0, England 1, but it's nail-biting stuff, really. The sort of game you'd watch from the back of your couch. This is the reason why I wanted to come into work today and do this, because I didn't enjoy the semi-final, and in many respects I'm not enjoying this game either, Rob.
No, well, I mean, Gareth Southgate's, I don't want to get on his back when we haven't won it yet because we're in the box seat, but he talked about bringing enjoyment back to the sort of teams, the fans of the England team, and I'd struggle to suggest any England fan has truly enjoyed any of England's performances. They scored 2 goals in the group games, were absolutely abysmal against Scotland. Germany was just a nervous wreck from both teams. We just happened to win it, and then we played Ukraine, who clearly did well to get that far. Obviously the semi-final was a little bit nervy as well. I think England have been playing with a handbrake on. I legitimately believe I think England could be a lot more aggressive and more entertaining, but that doesn't mean they would have won the games. Talk about the talent in the squad. It's all attack, the talent in our squad, but we've got 7 defensive players out there, and Gareth Southgate is trying to win it with defensive solidity.
Yeah, it is. Well, you know what, Rob, that worked for Greece, didn't it? And I'm sure that they don't want that tournament taken off them because they were a bit boring. So, you know, that's where we're at. But it doesn't make it exciting to watch. And Italy back on the ball. They've been dominating the ball. Jorginho gets it now. He's looking for targets in and around. Ball goes back to Bonucci and then to Verratti. But it's all in the England half. They're all, every man jack of them defending. The ball now with Chiesa out on the left-hand side. And a ball into the box. A real opportunity here. And well, it's a good defensive header back. The box was loaded, but Maguire got his header there first. But they just sat back so deep, England. We keep on saying it, but it keeps on being true. And this time the ball wouldn't quite reach Cristante, I think it was, in the box.
I mean, I think that's a great header from Harry Maguire, but the cross is too easy. Federico Chiesa just had a shot that nearly scored on his right foot. Why are we showing him his right foot? Show him down the left and see what he can do there. He's just going to hit it with his swinger.
Corner kick comes in. There's a little flick on. Cristante at the near post. That's been done with the ball. Is in the back of it. It is now. And they've got him through Bonucci. He goes and celebrates with the Azzurri fan behind the goal. It was coming, Rob. It was coming. And there, Italy from close range have got the equaliser.
Yeah, he couldn't miss, could he? He's a little bit unfortunate on Pickford in the sense that I think he managed to save it onto the post. But Italy just kept it alive. They just kept it alive. It's a good ball in. They then attacking the ball. Got Porres. England couldn't get a touch on it. And they just kept it alive. And then it's Bonucci, a yard out when he smashed it into the back of the net. And this is a different game. England have been defending for 63 minutes. Have they got a gear to come out of? It's just having another look at it there. Chiellini wanted a foul, but he's just getting in there. Is that a foul? It was then saved by Stones onto the post, but there's just a blue shirt following up. How's Verratti beating anybody in the air, by the way?
Well, Verratti's header, did that come off the post as well? So, you know, obviously they're fighting hard for it, aren't they? But anyway, Bonucci was there, and to be honest, Rob, I think anybody been listening to us for the last 10 minutes said, "What you chill out, you guys." Honestly, that goal was coming for me, and there we go. And well, that should hopefully now bring the best out of England. At Wembley, it's one apiece. That goal was coming. Italy just pressed England back so deep it was almost inevitable. They came from a corner kick in the end, and the ball fizzing around the box. We saw Verratti with the head. I think that might have come back off the post with Pickford beaten, and he was on the ground. Ball back in the box, bodies flying all over Chiellini, but it was Bonucci, Leonardo Bonucci from close range in the end who grabbed the equaliser. Now the momentum is with Italy, one apiece.
Here's Emerson on the charge down the left-hand side, finds Insigne. Cross to Chiesa, who's got a shot from distance. We know that. We've seen it in this game already. He's just forced wide of the area. He's on the right edge of the box. A couple of little drag backs. Still fires it in there. Is that a shot or a cross? It's gone out for a throw in. Sometimes his final ball lacks a little bit of finesse, but this is very much a different game. One apiece going into the final quarter, but the momentum really has been with Italy for a long, long time. Yes, the chances weren't coming, but it was just a build-up of pressure in the end. And what are England going to do to turn this game around? They don't need to necessarily win it in 90 minutes. They don't need to do that, but they've got to do something to turn it around, because Italy have been asking questions for a long time now.
Yeah, I think for me, a change of shape, change of personnel. You know, I think there's got to be a sea change in the game. I was thinking it's a bit like tortoise and hare. I expect England to get slightly better as the game goes on. But like we said, it's almost having scored that early, just say, hand all the impetus to Italy. And they've decided, right, okay, if you want us to have the ball near your goal, we'll do that. All of a sudden, England now have to, you know, keep a shape and change their mindset. And it's a difficult thing to do. And I think you do that if you're Gareth Southgate by making a change, going to a flat back four and bringing another attacker on. Somebody like a Rashford who's got that pace about him, but it's still Italy on the attack. We're going to see Bukayo Saka come on. This may well be that it's going to go to a back four now. Depends who he takes off. If he takes Trippier off, then I guess that we're going flat back four with this Saka going forward. I think he needs to do something, you know, to break the shape and change the look. And it looks like it is Trippier who's going off, so flat back four it is. And, well, maybe should have done it a bit sooner.
Yeah, I mean, you could argue that the shape hasn't necessarily been the worst thing about it, but they're just not playing particularly well. Is that necessarily just the formation? You're going to think I've got it in for him. I just haven't seen anything from Mount at all. I don't know what position he's playing. I don't know what he's doing. Raheem Sterling's been too deep. Kane isn't getting the service. Who are you going to blame for that? The formation, if that's the case, I wouldn't have started with that formation. That's not necessarily hindsight, I don't think. It's if we got a goal on the counter early doors, but we've then defended that goal from the 3rd minute. So we've been on the back foot for a long time in this game.
Well, I said the goal came against the run of play. But
2 minutes in.
Yeah.
England haven't lost it yet, so I'm not getting on top of them, but I think Mount in particular, given he doesn't offer the threat that Sterling or Kane do, I think he's lucky to still be on this field.
Yeah, and then there's a call for Grealish if England need to do something more with the ball. He holds onto the ball that well. That's something England are not doing either. Anyway, you're listening to Independent Off-Tube Studio commentary. We're more than 3/4 of the way through this game. It's one apiece. It's a nail-biter. And whoever scores next, well, it might just be that Rob Eddy is going to commentate on that.
Yeah, 90 minutes to go of the 90, plus, of course, a little bit of added time. England have actually seen the most possession they have in this second half. I think a stat flashed up, was it 71-39 in Italy's favour? England have still somehow had 2 shots, but yeah, the traffic's been going one way in this game for a long time. It's just taken Italy a while to get those opportunities. Here is a chance for England. Harry Kane looks for the pace of Saka in behind. He's just under hit the pass, and Emerson has read it well. Gets there first, goes back to Donnarumma, and Italy can start again. I mean, that goal, maybe Italy will take the foot off the gas. What do you reckon?
I think it's probably better that goal coming in at that point than with like 5 minutes left. It's allowed England to think about tactically what they want to do. You know, that change of shape, I think it's almost to say to England, look, wake up, we need to go and attack now. You know, as we thought, the 2 wing-backs played pretty well and played in harness for the first goal. But it's a message to the players, come on, lads, wake up, you know. And then they kind of needed that, didn't they? A change of impetus. The fans are not singing anymore at Wembley, are they? And apart from the Italy fans, but the game has changed again, I think.
Jordan Henderson is ready to come on. Ball over the top. Oh, and Pickford didn't get there. It was a volley that's over the bar in the end from Berardi. England are asking the linesman, is the flag going to go up or not? Doesn't really matter. It's a tight one. He timed it pretty well there. The fact that it hasn't gone in the back of the net probably means we won't get to look to see if it was offside. But that was a great ball over the top. Great run from Berardi. And that's a let-off for England. Declan Rice is the man to depart. Jordan Henderson is coming on.
Yeah, and again, it's legs in the middle, isn't it? And hard work, but do England need a little bit more than that? I thought Berardi was offside in that last move, by the way, Rob, but not much in it. But the ball came from deep, didn't it? And reminded of Pirlo at his best. Lovely ball, quarterbacked over the top. Pickford rushed out, got nowhere near it, wasn't going to make a save. I thought the only thing he could do there necessarily was bring Berardi down. He didn't do that. That's the only thing he did well out of that move.
John Stones clears it up towards the halfway line. It's over Mount's head, won't reach Sterling. Di Lorenzo's in there first. Now Italy coming. Again, as Calvin Phillips, Dante, and taking it round the defender. It just got just under, in fact, and England. Oh, somebody's got to get hold of it. Is Jordan Henderson outside? Kyle Walker, though. Using his pace, gets there first, good ball.
And not playing that much better, and you've got to give credit to Italy. They went a goal down and then came to dominate the game. You know, that's an easy thing to do. I think a poor team scores and then sits back on it, and England have done just that. Now it's very difficult for them to get back going. Italy have dominated the game, are continuing to dominate the game. That's what they've done. You know, their mindset, that's it, let's get after it. And they haven't stopped since they scored the goal. You know, they're still going forward, and it's England is still sat too deep, Rob.
Chiesa has been pretty influential, looks for a ball at the edge of the box. Cristante making the run. Harry Maguire stepped in, clears it downfield. I think that's an old-fashioned lump into touch, get it out kind of clearance from Harry Maguire. There's nobody downfield, admittedly. Whose fault is that? He doesn't want to be caught in possession. England retreat. Jordan Henderson has not exactly come on and told England to push out, so I guess this is the game plan. It's a tightrope that England are walking at the moment. So here is Chiellini inside the England half, finds Chiesa. back to the halfway line of Verratti, infield to Jorginho. And he's got a runner to his outside, Di Lorenzo, but comes back into a central position. Verratti feeds Chiesa, who wrong foots Phillips. Insigne takes over, 30 yards from goal, closed down by Henderson. Passes back towards the halfway line. Italy start again with 14 minutes left at Wembley of the 90. Plus whatever injury time is going to be added on.
Looks like England are trying to hang on for penalties, Rob. I don't know what they're doing here, and do you know what? They've lost the plot a little bit, the team. It's a collective failure, isn't it? It seems like a lack of belief, dropping that deep. But how are they going to score from where they are? Kane's below the halfway line, you know, so deep that he's got such a long way to go to try and grab a goal. How is he going to score from there? I don't know, but it's a little bit depressing watching it, really. And you know, Italy are on the front foot now, and if I was a betting man, I think I'd have a couple of bob on them.
Harry Kane almost caught in possession, does well to find Jordan Henderson, but then Saka's caught on his heels. Chiellini got there first, although it was a tackle rather than the clearance, and then Harry Maguire trips over the ball. Eventually, well, the referee didn't look as though he was going to give a free kick, and then he has given a free kick with Italy on the counter. Verratti's leading the protests. The ball was getting away from him. I suppose he hasn't played the ball, has he, Jorginho? And he has leaned into the man, but given what's been let go...
I think there that Maguire lost control of the ball as well, and he got bailed out by the referee there. Wasn't going to give it, was he? But just at the last, he just thought, yeah, maybe there was a little bit there, but I thought he got dead lucky.
Harry Maguire's caught by Jorginho again. This time the referee spotted it. But it seems to be more running in that midfield from the men in blue than the men in white, with time ticking down. 12 minutes plus stoppage time. It's Italy 1, England 1. Nervous faces in the crowd. Largely England fans, of course, but there is obviously a pocket of Italy fans as well. Saka's now caught by Verratti. And that's spotted by the referee.
Do you know what, the fans who've turned up for a party probably need to get behind England right now, don't they? But everybody, you know, looking through their fingers in the stadium, you know, it's all gone quiet. It was a great start for England, but that was a long time ago now, Rob. It's a new reality, isn't it? This is it. They're not playing well. They need the crowd to get behind them. They need to do something for themselves as well. Collectively, they look shot, don't they, England? And I don't really understand it. They've got good players on the bench as well. And if Gareth Southgate is a brilliant manager, then he's going to have to utilise that and everything that he can to somehow get a tune out of this team right now.
Free kicks near the halfway line, but Harry Maguire's coming up from the back, and then Phillips plays it square to Luke Shaw to change the angle. It is drilled into the box. Chiellini heads away, finds Verratti as well, who's allowed to turn. And he's got Chiesa, a willing runner. Oh, Saka got half an interception, but didn't quite complete it. Now Chiesa's running into the England half. Kyle Walker is there, full of pace. Who's going to win the foot race? Oh, and then they're leaving it to each other. In the end, it was the third player who was able to bring it clear. And then I think that's Cristante who's just caught Saka from behind. Now Chiesa is rolling around, holding his head, grabbing his ankles. Not sure what he's hurt in this particular fall on the edge of the box, but I mean, he's been a problem for England all game, Chiesa.
Yeah, he's worked his socks off, hasn't he? And he's trying to wriggle around, get around Kyle Walker. Easier said than done. Walker's done really well there because he gets goal side, and in the end, I just think it's the effort that he's put in there. Maybe twisting an ankle going over, you know, and it hurt no matter what. I don't think there necessarily had to be a big contact there. But I think he's just trying to cut that savagely there into the box. That he probably injured himself. Mancini having a word with Cristante. You know, apparently he's pretty sweary. He's Roberto Mancini. That's what they were saying. The Man City boys who'd played under him. You know, a lot of the Man City fans have got good words for Mancini because he gave them their first title, didn't he? After a long time of doing nothing. But he's not everybody's favourite. Anyway, looking at Bonucci there, the man. On point, just stroking the ball to the back of that from 1 yard to get the equaliser. But it was coming, and they've well deserved it. At the minute, it may be one apiece, but Italy have dominated the game. England got, you know, an early goal, but they've done absolutely nothing since then, really. And you know, it's been all Italy. Who everybody talking about Italy, talking them up before the, you know, before the tournament. I know a lot of the lads in our office had backed them as well, saying they're a good team, and I wasn't really necessarily buying into that. but I think they've shown what a quality team they are tonight. They've stood up to the challenge. They conceded early, but they've grabbed then the game by the scruff of the neck, and they need to do something. Raheem Sterling, talking to his colleagues, somebody out of that England team needs to stand up and be counted right now.
Yeah, England won, Italy won with 9 minutes to go. Chiesa is still getting some treatment, incidentally. Jeff Hurst, an interested observer. Chiesa is now back on his feet. He's hobbling, but we'll see how long the hobble lasts for. He's got his right boot off, actually, so might be a problem. He is limping. Mancini is just beckoning one of his subs to hurry up, essentially. So maybe Chiesa, this could be good for England, because I think Chiesa's been Italy's best player. It looks like Bernardeschi is about to come on for Italy. Different kind of player to Chiesa if it is a straight swap between those two.
I mean, again, Bernardeschi is dangerous, but I think he's had a cracking game. This fella Federico Chiesa worked his socks, always looked dangerous when he's been on the ball. You know, Federico Bernardeschi, 27 years of age, again, he's a winger attacking midfielder. You know, again, he's scored goals for Italy. You know, he's a decent player, plays at a good club with Juventus, but again, for me, he wouldn't be as strong as the man he's replacing.
Yeah, I think Chiesa's up for sale this summer. He had a 2-year loan deal with Juventus, which has come to an end now. And I think tonight's performance will certainly catch admiring glances. Is he fit to come back on? It looks as though the physio has just caught the eye of the referee. Chiesa is back on the field, so Bernardeschi has not come on yet. Here's Mason Mount for England, left wing, back to Luke Shaw, who's trying to go around the outside of 3 players, finds Mount, who's now running in towards the box, pulls it back towards Saka. It's a poor touch. It was difficult to control. It was just above waist height, and he was caught in 2 minds whether to use his thigh, his head, his knee, and in the end it got away from him. It was hacked clear. That's the most dangerous England have looked for a while. England have regained possession on the halfway line. John Stones bringing it forward, finds Luke Shaw. Raheem Sterling demanding it on the left touchline, but he's got 2 for company. Back to Shaw, back to the halfway line for Maguire. But since the goal, Italy have certainly been happier to do a bit more defending at 1-1 than they were at 1-0 down, understandably. Here's Saka. Again, he's surrounded by blue shirts. Phillips just turned too quickly for Insigne. He's caught by the Napoli man. And that'll be a yellow card. I think that's a little bit harsh, but it's a yellow card. Free kick to England, fairly close to the halfway line.
Yep, and he's just too eager there, isn't he? Catches Calvin Phillips, whose touch wasn't great. The ball was going to come back to the Azzurri anyway, but just overcommitted there, and yeah, it seems a harsh yellow card, but nonetheless, he's picked one up. So Insigne then... well, he joined Barella and Bonucci. Barella's off now. Bonucci's still on the field of play. It's an England free kick.
It's about halfway inside the Italy half, actually, in a decent position. Too far out to go for goal. We've got Mount and Saka stood over it. Neither is going to be going for goal, surely. Mount looks as though he's favourite to take it. In towards the far post. Stones the target. Headed cleared, though, by Italy. Comes out to Luke Shaw. He's got 1 goal in the game. That is not threatening a second. Way over the bar. And that's behind, and we've got about 5 minutes to go in the 90.
At Wembley, it is Italy 1, England 1. Italy had been like gangbusters in this game till they got the equaliser. England have tried to change things up. They've taken Trippier off and put Saka on us. They've gone to a back 4, Rice off and Henderson on. We saw Shaw another effort over, and the dangerous Federico Chiesa has gone off injured, replaced by Bernardeschi. The game's moving on. It's a nervous watch now at Wembley at 1 apiece.
Yeah, I think that's good for England that Chiesa's gone off. I mean, sometimes he's almost a little bit down a cul-de-sac kind of thing, but he's got pace and he's got a powerful shot. He's not afraid to use his left or his right. He's caused problems for England, and losing him is a bit of a blow for Italy. Whether it has seen out the 90 had he not taken that knock is open to question. Italy now don't need to chase the game. It's 1-1, of course. Time is running out of normal time. Emerson's making a run down the left-hand side for the Azzurri. Gets there ahead of Saka, passes back into his own half, and Verratti though. Now Jorginho forward towards Insigne. Verratti again working the triangles, but not threatening England at the moment. Bonucci has it in the centre circle, forward towards Bernardeschi. That took a little deflection. That's taken it away from the substitute and through to Jordan Pickford. He was in no rush to clear his lines either. And John Stones gets it off Jordan Pickford. Bernardeschi closes him down. John Stones, that's a foul. I'm not sure how that's a foul. The referee's stopped play one way or the other. Bernardeschi wasn't that close to John Stones, but a stoppage in play. I don't know if there's a streaker on the pitch or something, but that was a strange way to stop the game. It's independent, unofficial off-tube studio commentary. Gareth Southgate, Harry Maguire. I don't think this was a foul. I think we've got an interloper.
Yeah, I think so. Somebody it's on, but anyway, trying to relieve the pressure. And you know, sometimes you think, "Oh, if only I did something now, I could change history," and that somebody's doing that right now. Anyway, they're all watching. For England, they need that breather. Really, they need to regain their composure. They haven't had it much today. We saw one good break from them in this second half, and then the ball, I thought, from Mason Mount was a terrible ball to Bukayo Saka in the box. He just piled it into him, didn't he? And he thought, well, how is he supposed to control that? You know, Mount, I think you're quite right. He's come back from injury. He's had a blinding season where he's been Player of the Year at Chelsea, but he hasn't looked like that, has he? Nowhere near it. You know, England have got a strong bench. I'm thinking about Rashford, I'm thinking about Grealish, I'm thinking about Jadon Sancho, who I didn't think necessarily played well in the tournament, but every dog has his day, and these are good players that, you know, should be perhaps on the field of play, and I don't think that Mason Mount has exactly covered himself in glory so far.
2 minutes to go plus stoppage time. England have got possession, but it's nervy possession. Pickford, Maguire, Mount, Stones, none of them appear to want the ball, and eventually it was cleared downfield. Saka's won a throw. A nice turn from Sterling, a little bit fortunate perhaps, but now he's running at Bonucci. He's into the box. He's got 3-4 blue shirts around him. He tries to go past them. I think it's just got away from him, gone behind for a goal kick. This will presumably lead to big high fives between Chiellini and the rest of his rear guards.
But they stood off, aren't they? And Raheem Sterling, he wants to tempt them and test them. Ball just bobbled a little bit there, then Bonucci can use his strength and he couldn't cut back in time. But at least Raheem Sterling's got the bravery. A lot of players seem to have frozen out there today. You know, the ball's like a hot potato. It's like the football from back in the day, isn't it? Like the 70s or something. But anyway, Sterling still, testing their defence and doing what he can do. He's been England's best player by a mile. There need to be one or two more step up to the plate, though.
Yeah, understandable nerves on the big occasion. This is an unusual situation. We saw that in the tennis in the finals. Debutants, barrel of nerves themselves. As Calvin Phillips wins the ball back for England. Is this a late opportunity? We are into the final minute of the 90. There will be added time, of course. We had that Chiesa injury. Sterling has it on the left. He goes round Di Lorenzo. No foul, says the referee this time. Might have been Cristante actually rather than Di Lorenzo. The break is on for the Azzurri. Bernardeschi with it. 20 seconds of the 90. Then the board will go up for added time as Phillips gets a challenge in. Might have even played it off Bernardeschi, so that will be an England throw. Bernardeschi doesn't like it, but England throw with 90 minutes just about to tick over. I'm thinking 4 or 5 minutes. Yeah,
could be. Raheem Sterling there saying, why didn't he get a free kick? That's probably because it wasn't a free kick. You know, referee's done all right today, hasn't he? Anyway, board about to go up, and we're going to get what we're going to get. Whatever we're going to get, it's going to be a little bit of time. I think both teams, and more so England, will be relieved to get off the field again and get that extra 30 minutes to work themselves out. And it's 6 minutes of added time. If they have got a stronger bench, they can utilise it. They can also change their shape. They can do a lot of things. England can play a lot of different systems. But for the longest part of this 90 minutes, they haven't really got after Italy at all.
Yeah, Verratti was who's penalised for a lunge on Sterling. He didn't actually get much of Sterling, but he didn't get any of the ball. And it was then cleared away. So free kick to England with a minute of added time played. So we've got 5 left. at least 5 left. All of a sudden England have got Sterling the ball in the last 5 minutes or so, and he's looked dangerous as Maguire wins the header in the box. It's going away from goal. Stones jumps up, but he's beaten by Verratti. Now Verratti tries to bring it clear, but caught from behind by Henderson. That'll be a free kick to Italy on the edge of their own box.
Well, it's nerves and nerves, isn't it? I mean, looking at Mancini, as ever, he doesn't look like he's having a good time. We haven't seen much of Gareth Southgate, but I doubt that he's enjoying it. You know, it's all right setting up your systems and saying we've got a good team. If your players go over the line and freeze and just decide they're going to sit back and defend and not be brave enough, what can you do about that? It seems like a whole collective failure. I don't really understand it. But maybe that goal has just robbed them. It came too soon for England. It's funny how we can talk about that. You know, oft times you have to talk about conceding early and what do you do about that. But sometimes scoring that early doesn't help you out. And I think that's been the case for England tonight.
Not a great ball in from the Italian right. Now the break is on for England, although Chiellini, he approached that ball with menace as Saka was trying to get there first, and Saka made sure he didn't get in the way of what could have been a very strong challenge. Chiellini just hammered it into touch. He
looks like he's been carved out of concrete, doesn't he, Chiellini? Such a strong player. They know how to look after their centre-backs, don't they? You say, no, him and Bonucci, this and that. Oh, listen, players like Costa Curta and players like that played until 40, didn't they, for Milan? So they're mere striplings. They've still got a few years left in them, and there's so much nous about them. We talked about their lack of pace, and Sterling, you know, he's trying to exploit that, but nobody else is doing that tonight.
Into Emerson on the left-hand side, stood up by Walker, has to go back to Chiellini now with Verratti, forward towards Emerson, challenged by Phillips, loses the ball, but Chiellini picks up the pieces. Now Verratti has it. Halfway through added time, 6 minutes of it. We've played 3. Into the centre circle and Bonucci, diagonal out to the left, and Insigne. Good chest control on the touchline. Chiellini is playing him in field really at the moment. Now Verratti, square to Jorginho. Across to Chiellini. Chiellini this high up the field. I would say there's a chance to exploit the space in behind him, but England are so deep again. Nobody's going to be challenging anything. Getting the ball is something of a challenge at the moment. Verratti. There have been a lot of sideway passes in the last couple of minutes for Italy. They're not asking the questions of England at the moment. And in fact, they've just gone back into their own half with Bonucci.
I think they're going to be fairly happy to take it to extra time. I think that they've got the measure of England tonight, and so, you know, if they've got a little bit more time to do it, so be it. I don't think they're worried about that. England should be worried because they've never really got going, but here's an opportunity for them. But again, Kane's so deep in his own half, he prods the ball forward. Who's that for? Jordan Henderson, you know, rushing toward the halfway line. You know, how are they going to score like that, England? And Kane just sat way too deep.
Yeah, Phillips looks a little bit isolated as the central midfielder. Jordan Henderson is trying to push out a little bit more, but I still don't know what Mason Mount's doing on this field. I really don't. Italy have possession in the centre circle with Bonucci. Finding a good pass to Cristante out to the right hand side. He's worked the 1-2. Cristante to the byline, gets across in towards the far post. Oh, Kyle Walker on the chest. If that was a bit lower, Emerson's probably got a free header. If it was a bit higher, Insigne in behind. Kyle Walker happened to be in the right place at the right time.
I think it's class defending from him, but overall, it's horrible from England. You know, again, it's an overlap down that right-hand side. When the ball comes in, there are 2 blue shirts in the box. You're right, Emerson's at the far post. Really cool defending that from Kyle Walker. He's not played bad tonight. Here they come again. Long ball over the top, looking for Bernardeschi. Was it running in? You know, they've got the runners in there. Domenico Berardi is well. He's done all right. And then they've got Cristante. You know, he came on as well for Barella. And I thought, well, that's, you know, like for like, but he's made much more effort to try and get into the box to support attacks. He's a little springer into the box. And so Italy have got bodies where they need him. Chiellini's going to get yellow carded now.
Yeah, he's wrestled Saka to the ground. It's deep into the 6-minute stoppage time. This is possibly one last chance. Chiellini offers the welcome handshake, which is waved away by Saka. He's not interested. he certainly took back Saka. You could argue that the ball's gone out of play, but there's no hiding the grab of the shirt around the neck and dragging him back. So Chiellini, Bonucci, both on bookings. England aren't testing them because they're not running at them. So
I think that, and then that calls for Marcus Rashford to come on, somebody who is going to commit, somebody who is going to run at them. You know, England have got pace, they've got options on the bench, they're going to need to use them. But anyway, we're at 96 minutes now.
Diagonal from Phillips towards Maguire, is well outside the box, and it's a good header away from Cristante. Ball goes into touch, 30 seconds beyond the 60, and that is enough for Bjorn Kuipers. England had led since the second minute, but that all changed in the 67th minute when Leonardo Bonucci equalised, deservedly so for Italy, but it rather bizarrely did England a favour. Italy got the equaliser, sat off, and it's played out to the full time at 1 apiece.
At Wembley is 1 apiece. They can't separate the two teams after 96 minutes, so it's gone to extra time. England scored after just 2 minutes with Luke Shaw after a good Trippier cross from the right-hand side. Was hammered in by Shaw's left boot, but Italy then pressed and dominated and deserved the equaliser on 67 minutes. A corner wasn't cleared away. A header tipped onto the post, but broke back to Leonardo Bonucci to tap it in from close range. A battle ensued therein, but it's 1-1. At Wembley is 1 apiece. They can't separate the two teams after 96 minutes, so it's gone to extra time. England scored after just 2 minutes with Luke Shaw after a good Trippier cross from the right-hand side. Was hammered in by Shaw's left boot, but Italy then pressed and dominated and deserved the equaliser on 67 minutes. A corner wasn't cleared away. A header tipped onto the post, but broke back to Leonardo Bonucci to tap it in from close range. A battle ensued therein, but it's 1-1. At Wembley is 1 apiece. They can't separate the two teams after 96 minutes, so it's gone to extra time. England scored after just 2 minutes with Luke Shaw after a good Trippier cross from the right-hand side. Was hammered in by Shaw's left boot, but Italy then pressed and dominated and deserved the equaliser on 67 minutes. A corner wasn't cleared away. A header tipped onto the post, but broke back to Leonardo Bonucci to tap it in from close range. A battle ensued therein, but it's 1-1. At Wembley is 1 apiece. They can't separate the two teams after 96 minutes, so it's gone to extra time. England scored after just 2 minutes with Luke Shaw after a good Trippier cross from the right-hand side. Was hammered in by Shaw's left boot, but Italy then pressed and dominated and deserved the equaliser on 67 minutes. A corner wasn't cleared away. A header tipped onto the post, but broke back to Leonardo Bonucci to tap it in from close range. A battle ensued therein, but it's 1-1. At Wembley is 1 apiece. They can't separate the two teams after 96 minutes, so it's gone to extra time. England scored after just 2 minutes with Luke Shaw after a good Trippier cross from the right-hand side. Was hammered in by Shaw's left boot, but Italy then pressed and dominated and deserved the equaliser on 67 minutes. A corner wasn't cleared away. A header tipped onto the post, but broke back to Leonardo Bonucci to tap it in from close range. A battle ensued therein, but it's 1-1. At Wembley is 1 apiece. They can't separate the two teams after 96 minutes, so it's gone to extra time. England scored after just 2 minutes with Luke Shaw after a good Trippier cross from the right-hand side. Was hammered in by Shaw's left boot, but Italy then pressed and dominated and deserved the equaliser on 67 minutes. A corner wasn't cleared away. A header tipped onto the post, but broke back to Leonardo Bonucci to tap it in from close range. A battle ensued therein, but it's 1-1. At Wembley is 1 apiece. They can't separate the two teams after 96 minutes, so it's gone to extra time. England scored after just 2 minutes with Luke Shaw after a good Trippier cross from the right-hand side. Was hammered in by Shaw's left boot, but Italy then pressed and dominated and deserved the equaliser on 67 minutes. A corner wasn't cleared away. A header tipped onto the post, but broke back to Leonardo Bonucci to tap it in from close range. A battle ensued therein, but it's 1-1. At Wembley is 1 apiece. They can't separate the two teams after 96 minutes, so it's gone to extra time. England scored after just 2 minutes with Luke Shaw after a good Trippier cross from the right-hand side. Was hammered in by Shaw's left boot, but Italy then pressed and dominated and deserved the equaliser on 67 minutes. A corner wasn't cleared away. A header tipped onto the post, but broke back to Leonardo Bonucci to tap it in from close range. A battle ensued therein, but it's 1-1.
at Wembley is 1 apiece. They can't separate the two teams after 96 minutes, so it's gone to extra time. England scored after just 2 minutes with Luke Shaw after a good Tripier cross from the right.
Well, England's goal seems a long time ago, doesn't it? They're about to start extra time. We're going to see another substitute. Andrea Bellotti is the man going to come on for Italy, who is a striker. He's a decent striker too. He's got the number 9 shirt for Italy for a reason, and we may have thought that he would be, first choice. But anyway, it's going to be Insigne who comes off. So maybe change of shape for them. He's a clever man, Mancini, and through the tournament, he's changed things. Almost halfway through a half, he'll say, right, we're going to do something else, and his team buy into that. They believe in him. So anyway, Andrea Bellotti, the Torino striker, comes on, and it's his opportunity for a little bit of glory. Anyway, already Rob's seen something he doesn't like about what England are doing.
This is England for the entire game since they took the lead. They've had a kick-off. Verratti's chasing 3 down, and then he's blocked the clearance from Stones. I mean, how much time does John Stones want? England are playing in first gear. It's tentative. It's not aggressive. I don't want to say clueless, but it's almost time wasting. We're going to let him chase us down because there's 30 minutes of stoppage of extra time that we've got to kill first. So let's make him lose his energy. There's no positivity about England. That's the problem. Yes, they've had possession, but it's not positive possession. It's you mentioned it earlier. It's painful to watch at times.
It is. It's passive, and my other thought is that I would fancy Italy in a penalty shootout. Already they've shown they got 4 out of 5 the other day. I said he took the last one, Jorginho, but he took the 5th one, which was the 4th scoring penalty in that 4-2 victory in penalties for them. My other thought about that is that Donnarumma's 6'5", and if you look at him filling the goal frame, he almost fills the entirety. I look at Jordan Pickford in the goal. He seems like a small man, and I think even I'd fancy me chances. Bernardeschi there, doing a good job of using Emerson on the run round, and Henderson then runs into Emerson, who doesn't have to get out of the way. I think Henderson needs to keep his eyes open.
Yeah, he got the free kick there. I mean, it's quite deliberate from Emerson on Henderson. This isn't basketball. He kind of stopped. He's looking at Henderson all the way. He knows exactly what he's doing. It's right in front of the referee. So it's just Italy on the attack there. That's a bit of a waste as far as Italy are concerned. But the free kick from England's deep in their own half, and it hasn't come to anything. Here's Bellotti.
Yeah, good control from Bellotti in the middle, held off Henderson and Phillips there. Now long ball over the top, looking for Berardi, who has kicked his man in the face there, and Maguire goes away. Berardi's saying, no, I didn't really do anything, and you're trying to kid us all. So let's take a look. Well, no, the boot was nowhere near the head, so Maguire was doing a bit of play acting there.
Yeah, I mean, but the boot is up near the head. You might argue it's dangerous play. Yes, he hasn't touched him, and that is not necessarily what I would like to see. But he knows he's going with his head, and he's gone with his boot. The linesman had a good view of that. I don't know why he blew up the foul. But England, they've finally got some possession. They've just crossed into the Italy half as well.
Here comes Mason Mount on the ball. He looks for Shaw, giving him a pretty ordinary ball, and Shaw tries to flick it out with his outstep, and hits Di Lorenzo and goes out for an England throw. Just looking at his teammate there, just saying, give me a better ball than that, mate. But anyway, England do have the throw. It's 1 apiece. They're into extra time, and another sub is warming up, and Manuel Locatelli is the man who's going to be next on. And we'll have to wait and see who he's on for, but he's a midfielder by trade, the Sassuolo man, and an attacking one at that. He's grabbed a few goals for Italy, and they are a good collective. They share the goals around in their 11. Anyway, there is Jorginho having a little bit of a coming together with one of the England players, and has a word with the referee. But let's take a look. Did he get tagged late there? And I thought just a pretty standard coming together with Sterling there.
Well, there's absolutely nothing in it, minimal contact, but he's facing his own goal line, so he's going to take that contact and fall over. The referee's fallen for it. I think Sterling told Jorginho what he thought, and hence the smile went off Jorginho's face. But at least it's Sterling attacking Italy defenders in one sense, because I think, I mean, at the start of the tournament, I wasn't his biggest fan, but I think he's been England's biggest danger in this tournament, in this match, and yet we're not getting him into advanced positions. I'm blaming all of the other 10 players, not Raheem Sterling, for that, and it's frustrating for him.
I don't really understand why Harry Kane felt the need to drop so deep all the time. Yes, he did that for the goal, and that was great. You know, but that was a corner kick, so you expect him to be somewhere around the halfway line looking for, you know, stray ball, which he did. But then, for the most part, he's acted like he's a holding midfielder today. Here's Calvin Phillips, and he's on the ball, finds it Shaw with a decent ball, and England making progress towards the halfway line. The ball is not controlled by Mason Mount, but they get lucky. England now an opportunity. Raheem Sterling's played through into the box, an opportunity for him. Tries to get the cutback. That's brilliant from Chiellini, sliding across. He couldn't get the ball out of his feet there, Rob, but Raheem Sterling, and well, time seemed to go pretty quick for him there.
Yeah, that's unfortunate for Sterling. I mean, he is England's most dangerous player, but he just couldn't get it far enough ahead. Chiellini spotted the danger. He's closed the gap. Could have been a chance to shoot there. There could have been a chance to square it, but he just couldn't quite get it where he wanted it. Locatelli's going on for Verratti is the change for Italy, but it's a corner kick to England. That stemmed from a poor touch from Mason Mount, by the way.
I know
he can't possibly see out extra time. If he's still on the field at the end of extra time, I don't know what I'm going to do.
Oh, I think you'll find he can.
I don't know what I'm going to do.
It was a fine deflected ball there from Mason Mount to get England on the run. Anyway, they've got a corner kick, England, and Shaw will take it from the left-hand side. The ball comes in. Donnarumma thought back coming out. Ball breaks back out to Calvin Phillips with a shot. And that's driven across the face. It's not his strongest suit, that. Just for a second, though, the fans in the stadium were excited. But Calvin Phillips' right foot drive in then was quite well wide.
Yeah, it's quite well. Donnarumma's probably got it covered, but at least it's a shot at goal. Again, it's small crumbs of comfort. I think Italy have actually dealt with the set pieces pretty well, in truth. England do have a threat. Maybe John Stones, his effort was the best that England, the most dangerous that England have looked. I think Italy have defended them pretty well, in truth, and of course they scored from a set piece. But it's something to be positive about from an England viewpoint.
Yep, maybe, but again, England dropped back into their own half, and again they're just so passive without the ball at the minute. Maguire comes to win the header, and he does pretty well. Ball, and then on the instep for Kane, who does really well, and now an opportunity. Ball with the outstep is an absolute shocker from Jordan Henderson. That hand in the air, don't put an hand in the air, mate. Just to pass the ball better. Trying to do that outstep of his right boot. Jack Grealish about to come on, and that can be wholly positive, although his arm's caught in his shirt. He's training. Good news that Grealish is coming on, because he's a class act, and presumably you would want Mason Mount to be the man who's getting the hug, but he doesn't necessarily follow.
If it's not Mason Mount, I'm going to lose it, because half the time Mason Mount's a bit ahead of Harry Kane when England are defending, and you're just thinking, I am thinking to myself, what is he doing? He's offering nothing. That's me. Harry Kane's on the pitch because if he gets half a chance, he's going to score a goal. I've no idea what Mason Mount is doing, because he's not defending. He's just tracked the run of Cristante, as I say that. As a shot comes in from Belotti, hit the heels of Maguire. That's easy for Pickford. But he hasn't been doing enough of that, because Kane's been behind Mason Mount too often. So if that's the case, you might as well have Grealish on the pitch and have him down the field.
Absolutely. Here is Mason Mount then. First touch was good, and he's been fouled by his Chelsea colleague there. Takes the free kick quickly, but there is a man in the way, and that was Berardi. Now we're going to see that change. Guess what? Big cheer by the side of me, and it is Mason Mount who is being replaced, and I'm thrilled to see Jack Grealish on, who I'd have starting every game for England. I think he's the most talented player, but anyway, apparently we can cope without talent in the team.
I don't know how Jorginho escaped that yellow card there. I mean, that is essentially a rugby tackle. 2 arms around the shoulders from behind. drag him down. I mean, that is a rugby tackle. That's got to be a yellow card. He's been niggling away with little fouls like that, but that's as blatant as they come.
Anyway, Grealish finds himself on the left-hand side with Raheem Sterling now going to the right, and as ever, Kane playing through the middle. It's a free kick for England in the Italy half left-hand side, but still pretty deep. Great ball through to Shaw, an opportunity for him, puts an early ball in, across the box. Kane fights for it, Chiellini wins it again. Calvin Phillips to the edge of the area. Was he brought down? Was he caught there? Bukayo Saka still on the ball inside the box, lays it back to Shaw, puts the early ball in across. That's deflected up in the air, and eventually Jorginho thumps that ball away over the halfway line. Maguire finds his keeper, and England can start again. Eventually, if they put enough good players on the field, England might get it right. I always thought that the strength of England on the bench might be the telling factor, and maybe it will, but England have got still a lot of work to do. We've had 10 minutes of this extra time period. Just signs, perhaps, Rob, of England waking up.
Signs, but again, we've gone back from the Italy half to Jordan Pickford. The confidence isn't quite there. I mean, it's nerves, isn't it? They don't want to lose it now. Even on that last free kick, Harry Kane was 10 yards outside the box. And I'm thinking, what's the point of taking this free kick if there's nobody to take it to? Offside given against Belotti, so that's a free kick. But we've had 10.5 minutes of the first period of extra time. I suppose a half chance or two either end, but shots from distance, really. It's a bit of a chess match. Here's Jack Grealish, his first touch.
Yeah, what can he do? Into the box he goes. Bonucci, arms are folded behind him, but it's brilliant stuff from Grealish. Can he do something? Oh, and Saka couldn't take it with him. He was brilliant from Grealish. That little heel behind him. Maybe it just bobbled up on Bukayo Saka. He's a little bit unlucky there, but that's what you expect from Jack Grealish. A bit of magic. Oh, and it was just a footy, was it, from Di Lorenzo that stopped England in their tracks there.
Yeah, a little bit unfortunate, but he's in behind there, isn't he? Bukayo Saka, if it was a better touch. That warning sign, they are a little bit worried. I mean, Jack Grealish, they're not closing him down as such. They're just sort of standing him up in numbers, 2 or 3 ahead of him, and deal with the dangerous Kyle Walker flattens Emerson. The ball's gone into touches that are throw into England. Yes, says the ref. No, he stopped the play. Is it to Italy? Yeah, I think it's an Italy throw that Kyle Walker took. That's why the play has stopped. But time is running out at the end of this first period.
You know what, though? Yeah, England are not in great shape, are they? They haven't played well today, but they've won a piece. They haven't lost the game. And for Italy, they've got some good players, haven't they? But a lot of them are off the field now, and we were both pretty thrilled from England's point of view to see Chiesa leave the field. They've got Bernardeschi, Berardi, Belotti on now as their front three, and they don't look half as effective. For England, they're getting a few half chances now. Sterling we saw through, and Chiellini closed him down. Phillips a shot from the edge of the box wide, and Grealish just coming on, a little back heel might have worked out. England have not played well, but it's the long game, isn't it? And maybe that's what Southgate was thinking about, trying to make his team hard to break down and make the game an arm wrestle, knowing that he could bring better players off the bench. Risky business, all of that, but anyway, here's a chance. Bernardeschi on the ball, lays it out to his left-hand side. Opportunity then down the left for Emerson, who beats the first man. Ball into the box there. Pickford tries to get the ball away. It's a real mass scramble there, and England got really lucky there, Rob.
Yeah, I mean, there's an element of luck, I thought, in the sense that Italy were able to keep control of the ball, because it was it was Kyle Walker's sliding challenge, and it was just sort of partially blocked in the tackle. I mean, that could have gone anywhere, and it's a dangerous ball in. Bernardeschi, I mean, did he have a chance to get a touch there? Did he just miss it? Because I think he's going to get there before Pickford, but somehow he missed the ball. Then it was blocked away, and I'm not sure what Belotti's appealing for.
Anything.
Anything will do. Yep. It certainly was it came off an Italian player, should have been a goal kick. I don't see how it was a penalty. Ball down the other end, and that's cool from Bonucci, back at her to Donnarumma. Got about 80 seconds of the opening half to go. Yeah,
well, the fun ever start. They say when the fun stops, stop, but I haven't enjoyed any of this, really. I think that goal on 2 minutes, from an England point of view, was great. But then, to be honest, if I want the best team to win at the moment, it would still be Italy. England have got to do a lot more. Italy deserve their equaliser, which they got in 67 minutes from Bonucci. Since then, though, they've had to change their personnel. Mancini having to ring the change. They're not as strong because of that. Emerson's having a strong game down that left-hand side now and doing well to get past Kyle Walker just a minute ago. Anyway, long ball now. Maguire wins his header, breaks back into the middle of the park. Bernardeschi runs into trouble. No, he doesn't. Here's an opportunity, and the shot comes in from the edge of the box, but that's blocked away. And I think that was Locatelli from the edge of the area. Kane now fighting for the ball. Brilliant stuff from Di Lorenzo to win it. Kane comes biting back into the challenge. I thought he got the ball there, but that's not a view shared by our referee Bjorn Kuipers. And he's giving Italy a free kick.
No, he hasn't quite got the ball. It's a rather theatric role from Jorginho, but I mean, he just let across, and it was definitely contact with the boot of Jorginho rather than the ball. 15 minutes just ticking over. But again, a bit of panic stations from England. I honestly don't really know what that front four is doing defensively. There's four of them. It's marking the defenders of Italy. Or is this a chance down the right-hand side? There's a bit of space. Locatelli, ball comes in. It's blocked away by Maguire, but Grealish is rather barged over by Di Lorenzo. But there's four Italian players, there's four England attackers, and then for some reason Calvin Phillips or Jordan Henderson goes and pressurises a defender, which leaves the other one a little bit isolated. Just tell one of the forwards to be a bit more aggressive rather than get caught out of position.
I think what they're doing today is a slight different wriggle on what they've been doing tactically, but it's like they've only told half the team. You know, and he's sort of, well, we need to do this. Well, I'll press then. But hang on, you didn't press last time, but I pressed. So if you're half-hearted pressing, you leave big gaps. You're either going as a team or you don't. But the team seem happier to sit back way below the halfway line, and that's the whole lot of them. Looks like a free kick now at the edge of the area, and this will be the last act of this first piece. Handball looks like it being given there against Locatelli. Had an arm out there, didn't he, to stop that? And if so, is that not a yellow card? I don't think that was given. Free kick at the edge of the area, left-hand side. A little bit too deep, and Luke Shaw's got an opportunity here. This will be the last action of this first 15 minutes of extra time, Rob. So England will be hoping something happens here.
Yeah, I mean, just get into the box. Don't run offside. Give yourselves half a chance. Okay, beat the first man. Don't overcook it. Anything in the mixer, just something for England to attack. Like you say, it's going to be the last kick of the half, really, and so don't waste it.
Yep, Luke Shaw's got the onerous task of trying to deliver a perfect ball. Ball comes into the far post, close to Donnarumma, and I think the flag had gone up for offside. And if not, maybe the whistle had blown for the end of the first period of extra time. Anyway, still waiting for confirmation of exactly what that is. Indeed, it is. So you can't separate the two teams at Wembley as they're getting ready for that second period. At Wembley, they've had 15 minutes of extra time. They still can't separate the two teams at one apiece. England have looked a bit more like it, and after the first 15 minutes, still he was put through, but Chiellini closed him down. Phillips, we saw with a shot wide, then Grealish came on. We thought he had the magic with a little back heel. Di Lorenzo just got a foot in. For Italy, we saw a cross that was pretty close to Bernardeschi from Emerson. Needed to get the touch in, but in fact it was Pickford who got there first. You can't separate the two teams. At Wembley, they've had 15 minutes of extra time. They still can't separate the two teams at one apiece. England have looked a bit more like it, and after the first 15 minutes, still he was put through, but Chiellini closed him down. Phillips, we saw with a shot wide, then Grealish came on. We thought he had the magic with a little back heel. Di Lorenzo just got a foot in. For Italy, we saw a cross that was pretty close to Bernardeschi from Emerson. Needed to get the touch in, but in fact it was Pickford who got there first. You can't separate the two teams. At Wembley, they've had 15 minutes of extra time. They still can't separate the two teams at one apiece. England have looked a bit more like it, and after the first 15 minutes, still he was put through, but Chiellini closed him down. Phillips, we saw with a shot wide, then Grealish came on. We thought he had the magic with a little back heel. Di Lorenzo just got a foot in. For Italy, we saw a cross that was pretty close to Bernardeschi from Emerson. Needed to get the touch in, but in fact it was Pickford who got there first. You can't separate the two teams. At Wembley, they've had 15 minutes of extra time. They still can't separate the two teams at one apiece. England have looked a bit more like it, and after the first 15 minutes, still he was put through, but Chiellini closed him down. Phillips, we saw with a shot wide, then Grealish came on. We thought he had the magic with a little back heel. Di Lorenzo just got a foot in. For Italy, we saw a cross that was pretty close to Bernardeschi from Emerson. Needed to get the touch in, but in fact it was Pickford who got there first. You can't separate the two teams. At
at Wembley. They've had 15 minutes of extra time. They still can't separate the two teams at one apiece. England have looked a bit more like it, and after the first 15 minutes still he was put through, but Chiellini closed him down. Phillips, we saw with a shot wide, then Grealish came on. We thought he had the magic with a little back heel. Di Lorenzo just got a foot in. For Italy, we saw a cross that was pretty close to Bernardeschi from Emerson. Needed to get the touch in, but in fact it was Pickford who got the...
Right, we're back out there, and it's Rob now will take us through the next 15 minutes of torture. There's still one apiece.
Yeah, it did look as though Marcus Rashford was coming on the pitch for England, but it looks like he's just put all his gear, his clobber back on, so he might just be warming up. It's as you were, one apiece, 15 minutes to go, otherwise it's penalties, and we don't want that, do we? As Bonucci fires it up to Bernardeschi in a little bit of space, works it out to the left-hand side, and Emerson very high up the field, back towards the halfway line though, and Cristante, and now with Bonucci. Low ball towards the edge of the box, and Belotti has just rolled Harry Maguire, who can't resist getting a foot in, and that'll be a free kick to Italy in a decent position, I suppose around about 30 yards from goal, maybe a fraction closer, but pretty central. Yellow card for Harry Maguire.
Yeah, he switched off a second. Belotti had made that movement off him, and then the next thing he's lumbering through him. He just chops him down there, doesn't he? Yeah, it's a free kick in a dangerous area. Again, it's going to have to be a good shot to score, but we saw Mikel Damsgaard from a similar position hit a good shot in. I mean, I think he's quite weak right above his head, Jordan Pickford, which for a goalkeeper, he's not good, is it? But I just don't think he's good right above his head. We'll see, won't we? I think those who worked in the Premier League, and I'm sure there's plenty of them in that Italy team, will be saying this is how you beat him. He's pretty small, isn't he, for a goalkeeper, Pickford, and this might be a proper test.
Bernardeschi appears to be lining it up, and it's a good 30 yards out. But as I say, pretty central. Bernardeschi's possibly got a better long-range free kick on him than others, and it's a goal that's straight down the middle, which was just, it was parried, but he gathered at the second attempt before the blue shirts closed in. I'm not sure if that was entirely deliberate. It was actually Jorginho, the closest one to it. The rebound, that is, as it's hit long by England. Chiellini just brushes Sterling out of the way to get to the ball, but makes sure it goes into touch. It's an attacking throw for England from that clearance downfield. So it's about 18 yards out. Kyle Walker is bringing it forward. He does have a long throw option. He's just getting the word from the linesman where exactly he should be taking it from, and it looks like it's a long throw into the middle. John Stones is right on the near post. That's a pretty good long one. Harry Maguire's a target as well. It's a fight for the ball. Shot comes out. Grealish blocked out to Saka on the edge of the box, who's just held up by Cristante, I think it was. Harry Kane takes over, cross it in towards the middle. John Stones dives at it, but it's parried away by Donnarumma. And that's done just about enough, with Emerson then getting on the loose ball. And Bernardeschi tries to bring it clear for Italy, runs into a bit of traffic, then he falls over. Who's blocked who? Who's fouled who? The ball has gone Italy's favour, and that's good enough for the referee. And that's a good ball out from Bonucci, finding Locatelli as well, who's got Belotti up in support, plays it down the channel for Belotti. Was he onside? The flag stayed down, low ball into the far post. Luke Shaw is cleared, then the flag goes up. That's kind of annoying sometimes when they leave that flag go up, but almost end to end, John.
Yeah, just looking at Kane's ball into the box. Firstly, Stones then comes for the header, misses it, and Donnarumma comes out, makes a bit of a mess of it. If it drops at a white shirt, then you never know. Stones just couldn't quite get there. It looked a good inviting cross from Harry Kane, didn't it? Then the ball goes down the other end. I like that they leave it and leave the flag late. If the ball hits the back of the net, then they can work the VAR out later rather than the man with the flag guessing on whether he's offside or not. But it is what it is, that, isn't it? Not everybody's keen on that.
Well, if they're going to do that, it begs the question, what's he doing there in the first place?
Well, obviously enjoying himself, running down the line. No, but a lot of the time they play a guessing game, don't they? We have to wait for VAR to mop it up. Rather see play go on rather than somebody guess with the flag. Everybody stops. Ball hits the back of the net. What can you do then? Well, the flag's gone up.
Well, that's the first bit of end-to-end stuff we've had in the game. England having chances, then Italy having chances. It's not been that sort of game, as Jordan Henderson miscontrols halfway inside the Italy half, and that'll be an Azuri throw, with Emerson threatening a quick one. But a shade over 10 minutes of extra time left. Emerson gets it back off Locatelli, hits it downfield, but that's straight to Harry Maguire. A little bit aimless. Are we going to get one last chance in the game? And if so, which way is it going to go? It's not been a game filled with masses of chances. Jack Grealish has not had too much of an impact as yet, as England have struggled to get the ball to him. Kyle Walker on the charge down the right-hand side. Back to Henderson. All barring Belotti behind the ball, but that's been the difference between England and Italy. Belotti is staying near the halfway line. Harry Kane, when he was defending, was just dropping into midfield.
Grealish just trying to buy a foul at the edge of the box, didn't quite do it. Raheem Sterling now getting round the back, an opportunity for England, and it's a foot just in there from Chiellini. He just did enough there, didn't he, to get that ball away from the dangerous Raheem Sterling.
Kyle Walker does well to keep it in after a slightly misplaced Calvin Phillips header. It was a good link-up between Henderson and Sterling, by the way. Grealish is up on the right, coming infield. Dances round Grealish, feeds out to the left-hand side, and it will reach Luke Shaw. Back to Saka. No, it's missed Saka, and then it's hacked away by Italy. England all of a sudden looking dangerous. It's taken a long time. We're into the second half of extra time to seriously sustain pressure on Italy.
Well, not only can Grealish, do something at the edge of the area, he controls the ball. He's got it on a string when he wants it. We see him sort of dancing across the box, and he's almost waiting for a foul. He wins free kicks in brilliant areas for his team. Aston Villa when he plays in the Premier League. Not only that, but he's got instant control of the ball. We said today, for a lot of the players, it's been like a hot potato, and they look like they're in uncharted waters, and Italy look more like a team who are used to playing at this kind of level, which is weird given what we know about the England players, those Chelsea players who've won the Champions League, the players who've won the Premier League with Man City this season in what is a fantastic Premier League, which is a League of Nations, isn't it, with lots of the best players out of the world. You'd expect a lot more control. We've seen a little bit of that though in this end game now, and here come England again.
Sterling just rather dwells in possession as Jack Grealish is caught by Jorginho. Jorginho had a look up there, and then he started rolling acts. Now that's clearly pretending. Jack Grealish has been caught. Jack Grealish actually slid in, but then Jorginho slid in. Grealish has made it look like he's been really fouled, but he does that. And then Jorginho looked which way the referee was pointing the flag, and then he started rolling around. I don't know if either is seriously injured.
Me neither. But anyway, the referee's going to book Jorginho when he gets up, whether he likes it or not. And he will be the next, in the book. There's been plenty of yellow cards. Grealish goes to win it. And, did he leave a foot in there? And do you know what? For Jorginho, that's really naughty, isn't it? He's gone over the top of the ball, studs right into the knee of Grealish, and that's bound to hurt. So... he's gone to win the ball. Grealish there, gone to ground. Jorginho's gone over the top of it. And to be honest, he's lucky that that's a yellow and not a red. It's really naughty what he's done there. And Grealish won't be forgiven him anytime soon. That really hurts.
Yeah, in Jorginho's defence, he got a little bit of the ball as well. But he is stamping down. Well, stamping. He's coming down on the ball, and then he's trod on Grealish. But if they just wound out on a bit, he's getting up, is Jorginho. Then he turns around because the referee's given a free kick, and all of a sudden, Jorginho's lucky it's not his third red card of the match, third yellow card of the match. That rugby tackle on Saka. That was just Mason Mount. That was just ridiculous.
No, absolutely, and he's a lucky boy, and they won't want to take him off though, because he's going to take a brilliant penalty if it comes to that. Grealish is up, thank goodness that he's got legs like tree trunks, because unless a man would have snapped in two there, but you know what, he's not happy about that, is he? And you wouldn't be. He's come on and he's been really dangerous, hasn't he? So the last thing that they want is him going off. But anyway, he's back up, And it's a free kick for England.
To be fair to Jack Grealish, I've seen him take one from an irate Birmingham City fan ran onto the pitch and lamped him in the middle of a game. I was doing that game when that happened, and to his credit, he just got up and won Aston Villa the game. Calvin Phillips, ball into a box, and Donnarumma. He came into a crowd, and he's done what he had to. He's caught the ball. He might have actually caught his own player, but he's claimed the ball, and that's the important thing for Italy. And we've got 5 minutes of extra time left.
Well, I would fancy Italy from here on in. I think they'll win a penalty shootout. I think Donnarumma is such a big keeper and imposing, and we know that Jorginho is going to hit his penalty into the back of the net. I think he's superb at that. We saw Harry Kane's last penalty, and it wasn't a good one, was it? And he just got lucky there that the ball was pushed back to him by Schmeichel to get the second go at it, but and that was England's best penalty kick taker. We'll see, won't we? Because it's going to be a big deal. 5 minutes to go, and then whatever added time we've got on. But I think the game is swung into Italy's favour.
Yeah, it's with Italy possession-wise. Cristante on the halfway line. Chiellini, Emerson back to Chiellini again, the halfway line. Extra time often does this. You're just more worried about losing a game than you are trying to win it. Italy have had possession now on the halfway line for about a minute. That's about a ball from Cristante out to Emerson. Bernardeschi's made the run in behind Jordan Henderson. He's found as well Bernardeschi with a cross. It's charged down. Bernardeschi's appealing for a handball, but that looked more out of desperation. Doesn't look too serious. I'm sure VAR will take a look at it. His it's possibly hit the arm, but it's in front of his chest, and the referee Bjorn Kuipers just waves play on. We've got 3.5 minutes of extra time left. There has been an injury though, or a bit of treatment given to I'll say Grealish and Jorginho, so there might be a minute or two added on as Harry Kane gets a flick on. Finds Bukayo Saka, who's trying to take on Locatelli. Goes round Locatelli. Cross comes Bonucci, puts a challenge in. Grealish gets there first. Who's nipped it off? Grealish took it away from Locatelli, and it's got away from him behind for a goal kick as time ticks down.
Yeah, it showed us England is showing a little bit of intent down that left-hand side, and yet another change. And I guess that this means Alessandro Florenzi is going to take a penalty kick. They're taking Emerson off, who's actually had a pretty good game, Rob. But anyway, Florenzi comes on, and he must be a cert for a penalty, I would have thought, at this late stage. But anyway, we'll see, won't we? And I guess that's in the thoughts now in England, about to make changes too, with Sancho and Rashford both about to come on, and probably both likely to take penalties.
2.5 minutes to go. It looks like Jadon Sancho and Rashford are coming on. Yeah, go and win us the Euros. As Italy have got play restarted, so England's changes haven't been made. That's a ball that's going to trickle out of play, so maybe those can be made now. Carl Walker wants to take a quick throw, and he has taken a quick throw, so England's changes haven't been made. Oh dear, as that's fed out to Bukayo Saka, closed up by Locatelli. He's then played it behind Luke Shaw. Straight into the two England substitutes, so maybe that change will be made now. Who's coming off, do we reckon?
Grealish. I don't know. I'm past guessing now.
Italy have actually taken the throw in, so England haven't got the changes on. So
if I was
Italy keep the ball for 2 minutes now,
and that is exactly what is going to happen right now. They see the games afoot. It could be funny this if they manage to do that, but there'll be plenty of added time as well. I think they're maybe 2 or 3 minutes out of this 15-minute period. So anyway, they're still playing keep ball down the left-hand side and doing a pretty good job of it.
Yeah, it's back in field with Jorginho, but he's going to play it back into his own half. And worked out to the left, and Chiellini down the line for Florenzi. Cross comes in, it's blocked behind by Henderson. That'll be a corner with a minute to go. There's a lot of space down the left-hand side. I don't know what England are doing defensively down that left side. Jordan Henderson is coming off for Marcus Rashford.
Yep, always sub the sub. That's important. Unbelievable, really, but it is what it is. And he's clearly going to take a penalty, I would have thought. He should have been on a long time ago, Marcus Rashford. We talked about pace against their centre-backs. But anyway, and Sancho is also going to come on. And I would doubt that Calvin Phillips is going to take a penalty. But anyway, I don't know what change he's going to make. Kyle Walker it is for Jadon Sancho. So it's probably about penalty takers coming on now.
Yeah, Italy have got a corner. England have taken off two defensive players. Yeah, of course, Italy have scored from a set piece. Got the equaliser after 67 minutes. That was with Bonucci. We're into stoppage time at the end of extra time. It's in towards the near post. Oh, it's flicked on. It was a free header. Didn't get enough on it. Keeling in. Phillips go down. It's kept alive by Belotti right on the other corner flag, the right. And Belotti digs out a cross, but Phillips intercepts near post and clears downfield. Jadon Sancho will give chase, but there's two Italy defenders back there under a little bit of pressure. Is Di Lorenzo from Jack Grealish, but there's 3 minutes of stoppage time at the end of extra time, and we've had 30 seconds, and Italy have possession.
Oh dear me! I mean, I don't know what the nerves are like in the stadium for both sets of fans now, but it seems like the inevitable penalty shootout, and if that's the way it's going to be, that's the way it's going to be. They couldn't separate them. It's a shame that England didn't have the belief to do it within 120 minutes of football, and all that good work that they've put in has sort of been wiped away by a real listless performance. I think Italy deserves something out of this game, and to be honest, they've been the best team out in the park today. Penalties, it's not a lottery. There's still a lot of skill and effort involved, but I think Italy have got, a more dominating goalkeeper, and I would think that they'd be the favourites to go on and win the penalty shootout as well, and bearing in mind that they've already done that in the tournament. But anyway, it is what it is, and England still got an opportunity to win this Euro 2020 tournament, but I'm not sure on the night that they've lived up to their the billing of favourites going into this game, Rob.
I'm not entirely sure why Marcus Rashford's playing at right back when Bukayo Saka has at least played as a left back for Arsenal this season. But anyway, that's what's happening as Italy attack down their left, and it's with Florenzi back in field to Cristante, now to Jorginho, across to Di Lorenzo. One last throw of the dice, perhaps. We're into the final minute of stoppage time. It is swung in left-footed, and it's beyond everybody. That's disappointing. There's 45 seconds left. England have a goal kick, but they've gone quiet. Italy have managed the second half of extra time pretty well since I suppose, the clash with Grealish and Jorginho. I'm not sure England have had a touch since then.
No, hardly. Italy will well deserve to take the game this far. They've gone to Wembley, conceded early, but come back, dominated the game, fought hard, and now have taken it to penalties. And if you'd have asked them ahead of the game, do you want to go to a penalty shootout, they might well have said, yeah, we fancy our chances with that, we'll take that. But I think they well deserve that. England were at home, scored an early goal, but have done nothing with that. Sat back on that, wasted time with that, and they've got exactly what they deserved out of 120 minutes, which is next to nothing, and that's it. And so it's going to be a penalty shootout, and if England are going to lift the trophy, it's going to have to be getting past the big 6'5" goalkeeper Gianluigi Donnarumma. At Wembley, they've played 120 minutes and they can't separate the two teams. It's going to be a penalty shootout. Italy have well deserved to at least get to penalties on the night. I think they've played pretty well. England have been listless and have been too defensive, scored early doors, and maybe that was the undoing of them. Sat back, wasted time, and that allowed Italy to fight back, get ahead of steam, get the equalising goal, and play with some vim and vigour. But it will go to a penalty shootout now. At Wembley, they've played 120 minutes and they can't separate the two teams. It's going to be a penalty shootout. Italy have well deserved to at least get to penalties on the night. I think they've played pretty well. England have been listless and have been too defensive, scored early doors, and maybe that was the undoing of them. Sat back, wasted time, and that allowed Italy to fight back, get ahead of steam, get the equalising goal, and play with some vim and vigour. But it will go to a penalty shootout now. At Wembley, they've played 120 minutes and they can't separate the two teams. It's going to be a penalty shootout.
Italy have well deserved to at least get to penalties on the night. I think they've played pretty well. England have been listless and have been too defensive, scored early doors, and maybe that was the undoing of them. Sat back, wasted time, and that allowed Italy to fight back, get ahead of steam, get the equalising goal, and play with some vim and vigour. But it will go to a penalty shootout now. At Wembley, they've played 120 minutes and they can't separate the two teams. It's going to be a penalty shootout. Italy have well deserved to at least get to penalties on the night. I think they've played pretty well. England have been listless and have been too defensive, scored early doors, and maybe that was the undoing of them. Sat back, wasted time, and that allowed Italy to fight back, get ahead of steam, get the equalising goal, and play with some vim and vigour. But it will go to a penalty shootout now. At Wembley, they've played 120 minutes and they can't separate the two teams. It's going to be a penalty shootout. Italy have well deserved to at least get to penalties on the night. I think they've played pretty well. England have been listless and have been too defensive, scored early doors, and maybe that was the undoing of them. Sat back, wasted time, and that allowed Italy to fight back, get ahead of steam, get the equalising goal, and play with some vim and vigour. But it will go to a penalty shootout now. At Wembley, they've played 120 minutes and they can't separate the two teams. It's going to be a penalty shootout. Italy have well deserved to at least get to penalties on the night. I think they've played pretty well. England have been listless and have been too defensive, scored early doors, and maybe that was the undoing of them. Sat back, wasted time, and that allowed Italy to fight back, get ahead of steam, get the equalising goal, and play with some vim and vigour. But it will go to a penalty shootout now. At Wembley, they've played 120 minutes and they can't separate the two teams. It's going to be a penalty shootout. Italy have well deserved to at least get to penalties on the night. I think they've played pretty well. England have been listless and have been too defensive, scored early doors, and maybe that was the undoing of them. Sat back, wasted time, and that allowed Italy to fight back, get ahead of steam, get the equalising goal, and play with some vim and vigour. But it will go to a penalty shootout now. At Wembley, they've played 120 minutes and they can't separate the two teams. It's going to be a penalty shootout. Italy have well deserved to at least get to penalties on the night. I think they've played pretty well. England have been listless and have been too defensive, scored early doors, and maybe that was the undoing of them. Sat back, wasted time, and that allowed Italy to fight back, get ahead of steam, get the equalising goal, and play with some vim and vigour. But it will go to a penalty shootout now. At Wembley, they've played 120 minutes and they can't separate the two teams. It's going to be a penalty shootout. Italy have well deserved to at least get to penalties on the night. I think they've played pretty well. England have been listless and have been too defensive, scored early doors, and maybe that was the undoing of them. Sat back, wasted time, and that allowed Italy to fight back, get ahead of steam, get the equalising goal, and play with some vim and vigour. But it will go to a penalty shootout now.
Yeah, penalties, and well, somebody's going to end up really disappointed. And if it's going to be England, then you know, it's disappointment from a long way out. They scored on the 2-minute marker. You thought it could be England's night, and then they just retreated into their shell. You know, Italy deserved to get back into the game, got ahead of steam up. Unfortunately for them, they had to take their key personnel off, the front three, who I thought played pretty well throughout the tournament. England really turned up today, Rob, but guess what? You know, they've got a chance. It's a penalty shootout, and somebody... he's going to thrive on the pressure, and others are going to fold. Do you know what I mean? You know, we saw for France, you know, what pressure it could put on. If Kylian Mbappe is the best striker in the world, well, he looked a bag of nerves and missed his penalty, didn't he? And that can happen to anybody. So, you know, it takes a strong personality to go and put the ball in the back of the net. And first up is Domenico Berardi, and we'll see what he's got. Steps up, and it's not really his body language. I wouldn't like to be the first man, Rob, because there's a lot of sorting out for the referee to do before that first man even gets to kick the ball. You know, referee's sorting out what he's going to do. But anyway, the Sassuolo striker, Berardi, puts the ball down. Pickford off his line at the minute, messing about, fiddling around. He's got to go back on his line. Up steps Berardi, then he's left-footed, and he places that into the back of the net, very confident. Pickford dived to his left, the ball went the other way, And that was a sure-footed penalty, 1-0 in the shootout.
Yeah, so the keeper the wrong way. I think he's got half a chance there, actually, if he guesses the right way. You mentioned the France game. There was 9 good penalties in that before Mbappe took his, and of course he did hit the target, which is something. Harry Kane is leading England's penalty taking duties. He did, of course, miss the penalty itself against Denmark, but scored the rebound. Is he going to get England level? It's a short run up. Up he steps. Oh, and he's beaten Donnarumma. Guessed the right way, did the giant Italian keeper, but it was into the side netting, diving to his right, arcing away from him. That is a good penalty.
Sure was. Nobody's going to save that. And yeah, he'd be thrilled with that. Anyway, it's going to be the number 9 now, Andrea Bellotti. And he steps up. Always looking for the body language. And well, Rob's pointing to where the ball is going to go. I hope that Pickford's seen that, because if he has, he'll be diving to his right.
That's the way he scored against Spain, low to the keeper's right.
Bellotti looks down at the ball, looks at the keeper. He's got a dry mouth and just licks his lips there. Pickford bounding up and down in the air. He's a bag of nerves, isn't he, Pickford? But up and down on the spot. Bellotti then, and it's saved by Pickford, who dived to his left-hand side. Didn't listen to Rob at all. And dived to his left. Bellotti then, not the best penalty kick there, and it was a good save by Jordan Pickford.
Yeah, I mean, it's arcing into the keeper, of course, if he goes the right way. And I think that's like the first penalty from Berardi. If the keeper guesses it, he's got half a chance. The difference with Harry Kane, it was getting away from the keeper, ended in the side netting. That is a good penalty. That one that we've just seen from Bellotti wasn't. Of course, if the keeper had gone the wrong way, we'd all be saying, yeah, cool as you like. Harry Maguire is stepping up for England. Doesn't take too many penalties. He looks an absolute nervous wreck. It's a fairly straight run-up. And now he's arcing away to his left. And he's drilled it into the top corner with power. There's absolutely no chance of Donnarumma saving that. There's more chance of it going over the bar. But it's under the bar. It's into the back of the net. England lead 2-1.
Yeah, advantage England. That's an absolute cracking penalty kick. Nobody's saving that. He bust the camera inside the goal there. Hit it that hard. England celebrating. Southgate celebrating. And we won't even bother mentioning his miss. Oh, I just have. Anyway, Bonucci is the next man up. Scored a goal. Got the equaliser, didn't he? Played pretty well today. Puts the ball down. And I think it's harder for the seasoned pros, really. But anyway, he needs to put this right and make it 2-apiece. Up he steps, he's right-footed. Oh, and Pickford gets close to it. He's tried the old Jorginho little stagger step there, but he made it just. And Pickford guessed the right way, but it almost went through him.
Yeah, it's quite weird, because it's almost as if Pickford gave it away that he was going to go to his right, and then the ball still went to his right, but he kind of a little bit off balance. It wasn't a full lead. This is one of England's substitutes, Marcus Rashford. Obviously only made it onto the field for essentially injury time of extra time. Sent on to score a penalty. Wouldn't say he's looking relaxed, that's for sure. It's a fairly straight run-up again from Marcus Rashford. Has the referee blown his whistle, because Marcus Rashford is stood there stationary for a while. Now he arcs away, stutters step, and then he's hit the outside of the post. He sent the keeper the wrong way, but it's hit the outside of the post. We're back on terms. It's 2-2 with 2 to go.
Can't bear this. Feel really sorry for Marcus Rashford. As a former free school meals child, I was willing that one in, but you know what? Football's not necessarily fair, is it? And there he just wheels away in despair, but it's still 2-apiece. He gets a pat on the back, only brought on for the penalties. But anyway, Bernardeschi is next man up, and I thought he played well when he come on. Anyway, he takes a pretty straight line, and then a couple of steps to the right. Again, Pickford bounding up and down in front of him, trying to put him off left-footed. Bernardeschi, and he drills it down the middle. And again, it's advantage Italy. You know, they're 3-2 up now, and England have to get the next one in just to get the equaliser. Don't this pressure back on England's shoulders?
I don't like penalties down the middle, but if they go in, that's all that matters. Certainly in a shootout, that's all that matters. And Italy are 3-2 up, having been 2-1 down. Jadon Sancho, the other substitute that was thrown on for penalties, is going to take England's fourth, just to keep England level pegging. We all know he's going to take Italy's last penalty. Arguably lucky to still be on the field. It's a slow run up. Oh, and the keeper's guessed the rightly win. In Italy, 3-2 up, one penalty left. Italy score their penalty, and this is game, set and match.
Well, I'm afraid, Rob, this fella doesn't miss for me. He's just incredible at this. He waits for the goalkeeper to commit, and at the very last minute he can hit it either way. So I think this goes in, and I think Italy will be celebrating in about 30 seconds time. Jorginho puts the ball down, Pickford then comes out. He knows what's about to happen. We've all seen Jorginho do this, but it's stopping him doing it. That's the problem. Can Italy then win Euro 2020? It's all down to this last kick of the ball for Jorginho. If he makes it, they have done. They'll have deserved it on the night. They've come back from a goal down at Wembley. You know, away from home soil. Difficult to do. Jorginho then steps up, stagger step. Oh, and he's saved! He's been saved by Jordan Pickford! He scuffed that ball! Oh, dearie me! But Pickford guessed the right way. That is so not like Jorginho. I thought the gig was up right there. Wowee. England by the skin of their teeth. He pushed it onto the post.
Well done, Pickford. I mean, that's a brilliant save. It's not the worst penalty either. It's right in the, well, it's head in the corner. Pratt just lacked that little bit of pace, but take nothing away from the save. That is brilliant. Helped out by a little bit of, well, a lot of the post. Bukayo Saka, can he keep England in this? England still need to score just to take this to sudden death. Bukayo Saka, 3-2 down. It's another short run up. Stutter step. Oh, the keeper has saved it. Italy have won it anyway. Donnarumma has come up with 2 saves. Marcus Rashford has missed the target. England have missed their last 3 penalties. And Italy have won Euro 2020 3-2 in the shootout. And that, I suppose, on the balance of the entire game is probably deserved.
Yeah, I'd have to say so. You know, we're talking about the best team winning. Fair play to Italy in Euro 2020. They always looked dangerous in this game. They conceded after just 2